Hey, good Sunday afternoon. A little bit later than normal. It's time for some Greyhawk and D&D goodness. Welcome to Secrets of the Flanaess. This is episode 6, In Search of Ancient Forgings. Welcome to one and all. Thanks for hanging out with us, joining us. Let me put some light on. Oh, there's the Hobbit. Glad to have you aboard, and we're going to play some D&D. Thanks to Guild Superior for the resub. Thanks to WikiVA, that's Blarg, Hebney and Blarg. Thank you guys for the resubs. That actually puts the party at 15 plus 2s. I didn't record the other one earlier. So. Yeah, so those plus 2s are usable on any D20 roll with the exception of a death save. Not that that would ever come into play. So glad to have everybody aboard. It's been a little while. I think it's been 3 weeks in lifetime since we've played Dungeons and Dragons. Hey, we got a new sub, Lowry. Thanks for your subscription. Glad to have you aboard. That kicked off a hype train. That's always fun. Yay. Appreciate the support. Glad to have you here, Lowry. Awesome. Awesome. So let's go around the horn here and meet our players. We're going to start with upper left corner there for the block with his springtime headpiece festooning his lovely pate. Hebney Craigbeam, what's going on?
Yar! I like to spread honey on my hat when I have the opportunity. And right now it's actually maple syrup season up here in Minnesota. It's still freaking cold, guys.
Yeah.
But yeah. Hailing from the Great White North, my name's Dave. Pleasure to be back, Scott and friends. Thank you so much. I play games and produce games and run games over at the Guild Superior Twitch channel. Please stop by and say hi and join us for the fun. Wednesday nights, we have a Greyhawk game beyond Saltmarsh, and we're in the middle of a boss battle right now, so stakes are high.
Nice.
And we have just 1 or 2 more episodes left of our Thursday night Kids on Brooms game. And then real quick heads up on May 14th, which is a Saturday, there'll be more information coming out, but we are kicking off a No Kids Hungry fundraising week with a very, very, very special one-shot of Viking Death Squad. And there will be lots of crazy costumes and ridiculous mayhem. So come on over and check it out.
Awesome. Cool. I'm trying to figure out why the commands are not firing. I had this problem before. Some switch somewhere has been clicked, although I haven't clicked anything. But Streamlabs, always a joy to navigate and mess with. Trying to get you a shout out in chat there, Dave. I'll figure it out.
Sometimes you have to re-log into Stream Elements just because of things.
Yeah, because that totally makes complete and utter and absolute sense. Hey, Doc Shoulder, thank you for the sub. That gives us another plus 2 for the party. So let's go right to Daryl Nimblebottom. Thanks for your support, your resub there, Doc. Tell us a little bit about your character.
Thanks, Scott and guys. My name's Bob. My character is Daryl Nimblebottom. He is a dwarf Tempest cleric from the Vespi Forest. He has come to take the place of his brother Bingo Nimblebottom in this campaign, and in the process, he's been letting his other fellow mates kind of know a little bit more about him. And at this point, thinks that maybe he might have a solution to his lingering problem that he's been dealing with since he was struck by lightning years ago now. And he's got a strategy, and we'll have to see how this evolves over time, if he actually takes the leap to maybe getting himself better or not. So that's where we're at.
I'm sure that everything is fine.
That's right.
I'm sure of it. All right. Let's keep going around. Let's go to Eridith Carwin, not a mage.
You are correct, sir. Hello, friends. I'm Carl. I play Eridith Carwin, the mysterious Shadar-kai arcane archer / not wizard. He's from the realm of the Shadowfall, servant of the Raven Queen, who came into the Flanaess on a mission, and he's the only survivor of that mission. So he's found some new friends. He is stuck here, and he is learning his way around. And again, not a wizard.
Not a wizard, yes. A shadow.
Not a wizard.
Shadowfell Dweller, Shadarkai, Arcane Archer,
Not a
right?
wizard.
Yeah, not a
Arcane
wizard.
Archer.
Yeah.
Not a wizard.
I did manage to get those commands firing off, so there's Dave and his channel's information in chat. The CloudBot turns itself off because helpful.
Scott, if Daryl dies, I want to be a wizard.
Okay. Yeah, apparently the party is apparently
I
longing for a wizard.
absolutely
Yeah.
want a
Great
wizard
need.
now. So
Yeah.
that I'm calling it.
Get in line, Bob.
The party is longing for a wizard. Yes.
That's right.
All right. Let's go to Baldwin O'Farrell, dropping his link in chat so you can find Tim there. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Baldwin.
Hi, yeah, my name is Tim. I'm also known as Enoch Pratt on Twitch and Discord. I'm a theater artist and educator. I make things and I do things. I'm playing Baldwin O'Farrell. He's a dwarf swashbuckler from Rikers and soon to be a provider of a limited edition parsnip vodka.
Limited edition, so you're going to want to get in line for this fine,
Right.
delicious distillate parsnip vodka. Is the community that the party finds themselves in, Caverick's Cove, is known all across Ratic, far and wide, as a wonderful locale for the world's finest parsnips, which are a genomic strain from down in the Bone March, thanks to a family who grows them in the fertile fields surrounding Caverick's Cove. But that's a tale for another time. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Last but certainly not least, Blarg.
Hey everybody, I'm Chris, WikiVA on Discord and Twitch. I have created what I believe is the ultimate Dungeons and Dragons character in the name of Blarg. He is a 4th level goblin rogue mastermind. Not mastermind. He's an inquisitive linguist. And boy, have we seen how powerful that is so far.
Yes.
So I'm looking forward to continuing that and winning this game.
But with great power comes great responsibility. So just
Indeed.
bear that in mind, Goblin friend.
Indeed.
Yes. All right. And I am the founder of this here little feast, more like a snack. But my name is Scott when I'm not being all pretendy and stuff on the internets. But Wily Hobbit is how folks know me here and in our Discord. We'll drop that in there. So if you need a fun, friendly, harmless, sort of padded, safe, nerdy place to hang out on Discord, ours is always open. It may feel a little bit like the Shire because Hobbit and all that stuff, but yeah. So great to be here. Great to be playing some D&D, and really excited to be back in Greyhawk, the setting that kicked it all off for me. Super excited to be playing in this here game. So thanks everybody for the hype train. Very cool. Nice way to start off the stream. That's exciting and cool and all of that. So thanks everybody for that. As you can see in the overlay, the cover of the module we're playing, while on the road to Caverick's Cove. If anybody is familiar at all with our what do you call it? Our community, the Greyhawk D&D community. You've probably heard of our friend Carlos A.S. Lysing. He runs Castle Entertainment. Just dropped some links in the chat there for that. This is one of his adventures. This is his homage to the village of Hamlet. So it's quite sandboxy. There are some adventures built into this, but it's quite a thick publication, beautifully illustrated, beautifully written. Dozens and dozens of NPCs and locations in this little fishing village on the shoreline of the Solnor Ocean up in Ratic, which is north of the Bone March and the North Province. It's separated from the rest of Greyhawk by the Raker Mountains. And it is in that area that we are currently adventuring. Last session, the party, we were minus Baldwin O'Farrell. He had needed to, in real life, be elsewhere. And so the four of us and myself delved into a kind of a side adventure. They ventured into this little forest south of Caverick's Cove, and it's actually an adventure that's in the module. And it it featured some Feywild excitement. Turns out that the little there's a Fey crossing, or a fairy ring, if you will, deep in the old forest, and under the guidance of Domas, a local ranger who leveled up, by the way, as an NPC as the result of barely surviving the encounter with the Malphus, which is a rather unkind and unpleasant dark being from beyond the veil in the Shadowfell. A Malphus and a dozen or so Darklings had come through the veil, through the fairy ring, and they slew the two pseudo-dragons. So sad day for the very few individuals in Caverick's Cove and in the region who knew the two pseudo-dragons. Let's see, and I believe they even had names, yes, Fazeri and Alanasta. And so they were dispatched, the party was, with Domas to see what had happened and see if they could just determine, okay, like what killed two pseudo-dragons, because that, that's kind of a big deal, because pseudo-dragons are tricksy at the least and formidable opponents at best. And it turns out there was a Malphus. The Malphus is an incarnation of the Kobold Press Tome of Beasts that your local dungeon master purchased some months ago and has been inflicting pain and harm and fear upon the two streamed games that we run here ever since getting that. So that's a great book. But yeah, so a little side adventure. The party has recently returned to Caverick's Cove, as the Old Forest is merely a day away or so, not even a day away. So they got taken care of business, and they spent the night in the forest, got a long rest in, and healed somewhat. And they've made their way back to Caverick's Cove. Probably worth mentioning at this point, since we've got a couple of new folks hanging around the chat, that in this game we decided as a group, with some cajoling from the Dungeon Master, that we would try to make this a little grittier, a little more realistic, not so much like hard reset video game respawn on a long rest. And so whenever our party long rests, they regain half the damage they had taken, or whatever amount of hit points they're down from their total. They get half of those back on a long rest, and they get half of any of their hit die that they may have expended on any short rest during the previous time awake. And you can only expend half of your hit dice during a short rest. So we try to make it a little grittier, a little more tough. Yeah, meat grinder mode. Andrew, good to see you. Fellowship at the Tables. He plays in our Monday night game. We'll fire that off again a week from tomorrow. Thanks for bouncing in, Andrew. But at any rate, so the party is back to Caverick's Cove, kind of licking their wounds, if you will, from their encounter with the Malphus. And I don't even recall who all is damaged or hurting or anything. Magical healing still functions just per the outline of whatever magic you're using to heal. But yeah, so that's kind of where we are. And the session before that, they had agreed. They met a rather well-to-do, a prominent family in Caverick's Cove. Let me get to the right page here. The Anstrad family. And this is Vinek and Kathra Anstrad, and they happen to own and operate the local mercenary guild house. And in fact, they live in the largest, nicest home in Caverick's Cove. And they have contracted the party to make a trip far to the west, somewhat south and to the west, into the Raker Mountains, in search of some ancient dwarven forgings. Turns out that Vinek Anstrad had procured at some cost a map to a location that purportedly will enable the party to enter the ancient dwarven stronghold of Kundrukar. This is a dwarven keep, if you will, that was set up in the mountains as the result of the dwarves having been run out of their bigger keep sometime before that by a horde of orcs and other awful humanoids. And so these dwarves reset in Kundrukar and delved deep, as dwarves are wont to do, on unearthing untold wealth and shinies, and also they're very, very well known for their forgings. And it is there that Mr. Anstrad hopes the party finds some spectacular weapons and other things that have lain hidden over the years in in hopes of assisting his political efforts to stave off the hordes of the Bone March to the south and west of Ratic. You see the Anstrad, Cathra in particular, her brother is a paladin of Heronius. He was killed leading some refugees away from Spine Castle into Nurl. And he saved likely several hundred lives by giving his own life. And with the fact that the Overlord or Overking Grinnell, I should say, Grinnell the First in the North Province, the Great Northern Kingdom, seems to have allied himself in some regard with the humanoids in the Bone March. So the Anstrads have quietly, they explained this a couple sessions ago, quietly funding anything they can fund that protects Nurl, protects Ratic, and causes problems for the Overking Grinnell in the North Province. And the fear is that the North Province, with the assistance of the humanoids, or vice versa, may make a play at some point to overtake Ratic, which is currently run and led by Evele, the widowed wife of Elaine the Fourth. She is the daughter of the Count of Nurl, so you can kind of see the connection. Many refugees from the Bone March reside in Ratic following the humanoid invasion of the Bone March back in 560 through 563 Common Year. It is presently 599. And so our party, very secret little mission adventure, if you will, for no one really knows the depths of the Anstrad's involvement in these political matters. As is customary in these times and these places, there are many benefactors who keep the unknowing safe and sound through wealth, through connections, through strength. So that's kind of the course of our adventure. And what we're really playing here is we're going to enter into the Forge of Fury, which is an old school D&D game. I believe it came out in 3rd edition. It was retooled for 5th edition in Tales of the Yawning Portal, and it is that version that I will be running as we are playing in a bit of a grim, darkier, crunchier 5e. To make matters more interesting, Blarg the Goblin seems to have infiltrated a dark, nasty organization known far and wide across the Flanaess in Greyhawk as the Scarlet Brotherhood, and there are concerns that the Brotherhood may be moving, whether it's with the humanoids and or the North Province, or maybe to their own designs, but it's a concern that the Scarlet Brotherhood may be moving against Ratic up in Marner. There have been a couple of Scarlet Brotherhood spies seen and slipped away in Ratic. Blarg's mentor and friend, Sir Roderick of the Knight Protectors, was recently slain by agents of the Scarlet Brotherhood. So much darkness surrounds our brave, fearless adventurers. But for now, they're in the safe, relatively safe confines of Cavric's Cove. And it's really only safe because the wider world really doesn't pay much attention to Cavric's Cove. It's just such a small little village on the coast of Ratic. Let me show you on a map where we are. Let me hide the cover. We'll pull the region up, and you can see there the very far right edge of our map along the coast. You'll see Cavric's Cove. The word cove is cut off a little bit. But that is the regional map, the part of Ratic that we are playing in. That is a map courtesy of a friend of the stream, mistress of maps for the Greyhawk D&D community, Anna B. Meyer. That is her amazing handiwork. I'm going to drop a little link in chat where you can find her stuff. I'm a Patreon supporter, big fan of Anna. But yeah, so we are in Ratic, right over to the left, the western edge of the map is where you see the Raker Mountains. And so that is where we will begin our session today. The party is headed to the Anstrad residence. It is late afternoon. The date is, I believe, 11 Patchwall. The day of the week is God's Day. The year is 599 common year, CY. It is the 10th month, and so in Radek, it is cold. We've had a couple of hard frosts for early in the 10th month, but this is a very wintry. You have the winds blowing ashore from the Solnor Ocean, Grendip Bay, down out of the Fruitsea and Schnei barbarian lands, the ice barbarians, frost barbarians, and that blows right up against the Radek Mountains. And so it's a rather blustery, wintry place, Radek, and we've already had a few very hard frosts, albeit late in the afternoon. It is the equivalent of the mid-50s and sunny today as our party makes their way through the village of Caverick's Cove. I'll show you this map. Let me hide the region. The Onstrad residence is right on the southwestern edge of the main intersection in Caverick's Cove. It's the largest private residence in the village by a wide margin. The impressive two-story structure is made of plaster and mortar with dark exposed timbers. A tower appoints its north wing, as you can kind of pick out on that little tiny map there, while the west wing is shaped in such a way that it actually hides the building's stables and a small vineyard from the road, so you can't really see that from the front. But it very clearly shows and demonstrates wealth, power, and authority. And as it happens, this is actually one of the oldest structures in Caverick's Cove. It was commissioned to be built by Collis Onstrad, who I believe is the grandfather of Vinek Onstrad. Collis was a friend of Henrik Caverick, the original pirate who founded Caverick's Cove. And it was Collis Onstrad who was able to put together quite a fortune by wrangling the local pirates and putting them together in some semblance of a mercenaries guild and lining their pockets and his pockets and all the pocketses. And so it is that his grandson, Vinek Onstrad, operates and controls the mercenaries guild house to this day in Caverick's Cove. And so as you approach the dwelling, the party, you may knock upon the front door as you step up the stone steps onto the sweeping covered porch pillars. The house faces east, so you have a nice breeze buffeting your back off of the waters of Grendip Bay as you approach the front door.
So Scott, before we had left on this mission that we did last time with the fairies, Blarg would have written out his message that he intends to give to Lord Onstrad, and he would have done that by writing in a cipher, and he would have picked the first cipher that he ever gave to Sir Roderick.
Okay.
So if anyone reads without the cipher, it would be sort of meaningless unless they were able to decode it. So he's going to write the message out in that cipher, and the message is going to be his full report on what he had discovered when he spent time in the land of the Scarlet Brotherhood. And when he's done writing the note, he's going to put it. He's going to seal it. And he's going to use his wax seal to seal it shut, and so he'll have that on him as they approach the Onstrad house.
The wax seal, I'm curious. Does that have any sort of heraldry, rune, symbology upon it?
It's just a simple B.
For Blarg, I'll guess.
Or maybe.
Who knows? It could be for bratwurst.
Could be.
Very well. Okay. So you find yourselves upon the wide, sweeping stone covered porch of the Onstrad residence. Again, a very impressive, the most impressive dwelling you've seen in the small town of Caverick's Cove.
When you guys met with them before, is that right?
Yeah.
And have we established that this is a paid job?
Yeah, I think he's paying us. He also said we could keep stuff we find, except
right.
for the weapons they want.
All right. Let's negotiate strong for this payment. I need the cash.
So you may knock upon the door, or I mean, I suppose if you wish, you could just stand there in hopes of someone coming randomly to the door to discover that you're on the front porch.
I think bars check for traps.
Blarg will just knock on the door.
Some rogue you are.
And I am a mastermind, by the way. I was wrong about inquisitive. What's an inquisitive? No one knows what that is.
Mastermind, yes.
And the door's locked. Okay, so Blarg, get your thieves' tools out.
My what? What?
Just kidding.
Yes, so you knock upon the big oaken door, beautifully carved. And the door pulls open, and in front of you are two human utes. One looks to be a male of maybe 9 or so seasons, very long, kind of one length, wavy brown hair, kind of swept back. Looks like it probably could use a good brushing and a hair tie because it's kind of long down his shoulders. The other one is a female, some 13 or 14 seasons. Her hair is very, very flaxen gold, pulled back tightly and in a single braid with a ribbon braided down through it. They're both wearing, just nice clothing, trousers, jerkin tops, decent, fine clothing. They're barefooted. And they seem to be thrilled to see you. Welcome. You're the ones that Mom and Dad told us about, right? You're the adventurers, yes? The young lady says excitedly as the boy kind of hides sort of halfway behind her on one side, sort of looking out. He has a wooden sword at his hip on a belt. I'm Shiala. Welcome. Come in quickly.
Well, yes. Blarg's gonna say in Dwarvish, let's not try to recruit any of these people.
She kind of looks
Daryl winks and nods and says in Dwarvish.
Yeah. I heard about that. I heard the Hobbit dwarf was like trying to groom, young lasses amongst the gnomes. Weird, man.
Grooming has so many different connotations.
So
not many of which are positive.
No, none of which are positive.
She looks at her brother and he looks at her and they kind of shrug as you venture into Dwarven. And she says, come in. We'll take you to them. They're in the drawing room at the den, the talking room where they talk to heroes like yourselves.
Oh, well, Blarg will follow him again.
She stands with the door open, waiting for you to enter. And once the whole party enters, she closes the door. Is it true you're really heroes?
Yeah, that's pretty much true.
Wow, you're the ones that avenged the death of those poor, whatever they were, that died in the woods, right? Is that you?
Yeah, that's true too. I don't like to brag, but yeah, we kicked some butt.
Oh, wow. Yeah, you look like you've been out in the woods. And Lyndon steps forward, and he smells like it too. And she kind of thumps him on the shoulder and pushes him, and he hits her back. And, they kind of start a tussle. Oh, hello. Just please, don't disregard the children. Now, run along, children. And you see Vinek Anstrad comes to you in his fine clothing. Please, this way. And he motions you toward him down the hallway.
Largo, go head his way.
The inside is plaster walls with some very fine stonework, very nice stone floors, timber frame, beams and such, exposed timber. All the doors are very nicely polished hardwood with nice hardwood jambs and brass hardware on them as you pass a couple of doors, and he leads you into a room with a large carved wood table, very, very light colored wood, very light grain. Beautiful carved chairs. There's 10 of them. That's kind of a long table. Windows overlooking the lawn to the back side of the house to the west, and you can see now the vineyard kind of sprawling behind the house. And he motions, please have a seat. I have some wine ready. I have ale. We have much to discuss before you set out.
Hebney kind of forgets why he's there as he's kind of in awe of all the craftsmanship, and he's running his hands over the fine woodwork, and the big fake smile that he had on his face when they arrived, that he's testing out, he's kind of workshopping it, just kind of drops as he's now just admiring the handiwork. But at the mention of wine and ale, he snaps back.
You can see there's a couple of wine carafes. Looks like a dark red wine. There's a couple of large decanters and a number of glasses and tankards on the table. There's already some bread set out and cheese, charcuterie board, if you will. There's a crest of Ratic on the wall above the fireplace. There's what must be probably a family crest on the opposite wall, the Anstrad crest. There are a couple of weapons hanging on the walls. This looks to be sort of like a meeting room, a den. There's shelves with some books. There's not a ton. It's not like opulent and overdone, but it's very clear that these folks are well-to-do, well-heeled, and the weapons do look quite functional, oiled, and so forth. The heraldry is actually our shields that look like they're not ceremonial. They would function in battle. And he's, please have a seat. I've got some roast pheasant that we'll have for supper, as it is almost that time. I hope you've brought your appetite. And by the way, well done. Your news of your exploits in the old forest preceded you. Is everyone all right, first of all, before we begin to discuss business? Is everyone all right? Sounds like you had quite the time. Domas filled us in.
Took a few scrapes and cuts and whatnot, but we did okay.
We did better than the others did.
Yes. We thank you for that was quite a threat from the dark Feywild. Always interesting living this close to a fairy circle. I hope that the powers that be in the Summer Court will see fit to fortify the fairy circle, or we'll have no end of scallywags and scamps coming through, I'm sure.
The heraldry that we see around the room, Blarg's going to take a look at it as they're talking and see, does any of it look like Knight Protector heraldry or similar to that?
So I've just put up on stream, you see that shield. That is the heraldry of Ratic. The other one is what you would have to believe would be the Anstrad family crest. A couple of swords crossed over a wheat field with a vineyard also kind of portrayed. And he, let me see, I'm going to roll a d20. Yes, I see. Do you recognize that's our family crest? You see that the vineyard, the swords represent the mercenary guild business, and of course the wheat, one of the staples of the eastern coastal Ratic region.
Very nice crest you have.
Yes, well, thank you. And of course you must recognize the heraldry of our fine country of Ratic.
Indeed.
And it is in defense of both of these bits of symbology that we break bread together. So please have a seat. Who would like wine? Who would like ale? Who would like both? Or any kind of side eyes, Hebney? Or perhaps just water. Please make your wishes known.
Water. Never touched the stuff.
I had you for an ale man, good dwarf. He pours a thick, rich porter, sets it in the tankard in front of you. And you, Cragbeam, ale?
I'll have one of each.
Very well. Pours a tankard of ale, big, thick, kind of dark, wheat-colored head upon it. Pours it right up, so the head just surface tension keeps it from spilling down the side.
I'll just lean forward and
get a little
come
foam.
up with a fake smile, and there's just foam.
Yeah, nice.
Delicious.
Pours a glass of wine. You, Nimblebottom, right? What would you like to drink?
I'll have ale. So I think I'll join my fellow dwarf
Attaboy, Hobbit dwarf.
and have some ale.
Kind of kinks his head. Hobbit dwarf, you say? And he sets the tankard in front of Daryl.
It's a long story.
Perhaps one day we'll have time to enjoy it. Elf, wine or ale?
Seeing as how all my companions are having ale, I will have wine.
Very well. This is a vintage from our vineyards. It's 581. Was an excellent year. Fresh barrel has been uncorked, and so enjoy yourselves. There's plenty more where that came from. And my little goblin friend, words I never thought I'd hear myself utter.
Yeah, I'm gonna have one of those ales because I don't drink wizardy drinks like wine.
The wizardy, you say? Well, not really.
Attaboy, Blarg.
He pours you a nice stout, sets it in front of you. A little bit runs down the side. Oh, my apologies. I'm a little heavy-handed there.
Oh, you're good.
All right. So, very nice. Okay. Excellent. So we should have some dinner soon. Please have some bread and cheese. And there are pewter plates, all the silverware and cutlery you need. There's a couple different partial wheels of a hard cheese. One's darker orange than the other. There's, again, nice crusty bread, some thinly sliced smoked and cured meats. Looks like Ratik's finest laid out. The pheasant will be along shortly. Cathra is putting the finishing touches. It's a family recipe from Nurl we thought would be appropriate to send you on your way, given your purpose.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Hey Scott, I can't remember when we went off to take care of the issue from the Fae.
Yeah.
Did they offer us something in return? I can't remember of doing that. Not the entire larger mission to get the
right.
To arm them.
I'm looking at my notes, and if they did, doesn't look like I have anything written down to that effect. Gosh, bad DM.
Can you guys remember? I can't remember if they
I would be certain that Devinder would give you guys like 25 gold apiece for something like that. So if you want to drop that onto your character sheets, yeah.
Okay, it sounds good.
And maybe a key to the city.
So Daryl, thanks him for the dinner and the ale, and he's got some urgency to him in a sense that he just wants to get to the situation, partly because he knows that maybe that this is the solution to his issues or his problems. So he asks him, Hebney had mentioned about that was outside, so we weren't in yet. So he asks him if he's ready to negotiate further or set the deal straight for our next adventure for him.
Yes, so let's talk business. We'll negotiate wages, if you will. We talked briefly. I recommended 50 gold each just for making the trip, plus we will outfit you with whatever you need to get started. It's a bit of a journey. It's going to take you well over a week just to get to Auricold. Blazing Dell is another few days up the valley beyond that, and then you could re-provision in Blazing Dell as you're going to be about 3 days from the Stone Tooth based on my map. So yes, we'll provision you to get on the road with whatever you need, plus 50 gold each. We'll pay you that up front, and then if you can bring us back, if you can map the complex, if you manage to find it and are able to do so, an additional 100 gold pieces for the party total for doing the mapping would be tremendous. And of course, any dwarven forged weaponry and secrets that you might find from the operation. That is the crux, that is the purpose, that is the brass ring, if you will. That is what we're looking for. Other treasure that you find along the way or in the dwarven tunnels is yours to keep, of course.
What does this brass ring look like?
Yes, of course. That would be an expression. My apologies. The goal, the brass ring, a metaphor, if you will. I'm interested in the dwarven forgings that may hopefully still be buried deep within Kundrukar.
You'd like us to recover the artifacts then and map out the system.
Yes,
Find
please,
the place.
if it's at all possible. The legend of the weapons forged by Durgadin. I know the dwarves are well aware of how special these weapons should be. Should you be able to find them?
Daryl asked them about, you had mentioned when we were in the tavern about a map and for us. And
Yes.
that you had. And he was wondering if he could share that with us and then share any knowledge of the map, meaning what is on the map and potentially how we might be able to actually use that to get into the forge.
Yes, of course. He pulls out a scroll tube from inside the folds of his wearing like a loose kind of blousey shirt and a robe over that and pantaloons, all satiny, silky looking, very fine looking material. And he pulls from within the folds of the inside of the robe a scroll tube and then unfurls a bit of parchment that looks quite aged. I've dropped this map into the Discord. The pantaloons fasten in the rear, actually. They're very, very fine. Probably goblin make. And so I've put the map in Discord for the party to look at. I will also put the map on stream. So this is the map that Whistleroot has to give to you. Yes, so this is the region known as the Stone Tooth. The peak you see there, some 1,400 feet, that is the Stone Tooth itself. I believe there should be a trail you can see entering from the southwest, winding upward. That should, if the trail can be found, should lead you, legend has it, the stories speak of an opening in the cliff face. Could be tough to find after all these years, but you should make your way to the front door, if you will, by following that trail up into the forest. Very, very rugged terrain, some 30 miles north of Blazingdell. Blazingdell is well into the Logrim Valley, which is the Logrim River. Creates a valley there's this big valley that splits the upper and lower Rakers. The river flows through Blazingdell downstream to Auricold and pours into Lake Loegrim. The city of Loegrim takes its name from this natural feature. But yes, the actual Stone Tooth is north of Blazingdell, some 30 miles. Should take you about 3 days to reach it from the mining town, given the rocky, forested, dangerous terrain. So take this map with you. You won't really need it until you arrive at Blazing Dell. I would keep it secret. It went to great expense, and lives were lost in the procurement of this map. This legend of Durgadin and Kundrukar, as Baldwin and Daryl know, is to many nowadays but a wives' tale.
Well, Daryl asks, how difficult is it to find this path from Blazingdale? Meaning that this on the map, and he points to the path on the map that's heading towards the peak.
Yes, my recommendation would be to follow the mining road north out of Blazingdell, along the river. There's a tributary that flows into the Loagrim River. You can follow that for a time, and then I assume you'll be looking for the trail itself, if it still exists, or perhaps it is marked in some dwarven customary way that dwarves use to hide their passings and comings and goings. This is where I'm a little fuzzy, as you can well imagine.
And then Daryl again says thank you, and then he asks further, does he know of anything treacherous along this? Obviously, it sounds like this is not the forest is not safe. Does he know anything specific with regards to what might be kind of present before reaching the forge?
Yes, of course. There are many tales, rumors, orcs, ogres, the things that live and inhabit the mountains, the wild places of the world. Goodness knows what else, especially if you're planning to be entering a sealed or formerly sealed, somewhat sealed dwarven mine. Goodness knows, the history of Kundrakar is not a pleasant one. Durgadin settled his people there after being driven from their home by a horde of fierce orcs and trolls, plundered the ancestral halls deep in the rakers, slew all the dwarves they could catch. Durgadin led the few raggedy remnants of his clan, and after years of searching and wandering, they happened upon this stone tooth and found a great cavern system, and it is there that they made their home and rebuilt their lives. It's nicely defensible given the rugged forested terrain and the elevation of the entry point in the bare rocky crag. But some years ago, stories say that one of Durgadin's clan was captured by an orc tribe and was forced to divulge the location of Kundrukar, and so the orc chieftains, as they are wont to do, raised an army and stormed the... Thank you.
Very dry.
Go on, buddy. Got an invasion of a pug.
Roll initiative.
Yeah, roll initiative. At any rate, they marched on Kundrakar, and many months it took, but the orcs were able to overcome the defenses and tunneled into the cavern system and routed the dwarves, carried off wagon loads of treasure and things, but it is told that they were unable to penetrate the deepest depths and corners of the complex, and it is there that I hope you'll have good fortune in finding some of the ancient legendary forgings of Durgadin himself. But again, many, many dwarves lost their lives in this second sundering of the dwarven stronghold of Durgadin. It says that the caverns had lain empty, but I'm sure there are things darker than the blackness of the darkest heart that have dwelt there in the absence of the dwarven lord.
Daryl thanks him again for all the information, and because he has him, he's going to just keep kind of peppering him to help him with information about the what's going to happen ahead for them. And Daryl turns to him and goes, Blazingdale.
Blazingdale, yes.
Tell me more. How is this is it a large establishment? Something that we'd be able to hire a tracker or something to be able to help us in the process of getting to Stonefist?
So Blazingdale is a mining town. It, based on everything I know, it's about 30 miles south of the Stone Tooth.
Stone Tooth, sorry.
Probably going to be some 3 days on foot, given the terrain. There are a number of very small little mining villages, outposts scattered here and there along the valley, the Logrim Valley. But the largest of those beyond Auricold is Blazingdale, some 2,000 souls. Very diverse. Elves, half-orcs, half-elves, humans, dwarves, all grittier than the toughest stone of the rakers themselves to live in such a edge of the wilds. But I don't know of anyone there who would be able to take you to the Stone Tooth, or at least that would know that the Stone Tooth itself is, in fact, Kundrukar.
Daryl thinks about it, and he knows now, having been with his group for quite a while, what our strengths and weaknesses are, and turns back to him and asks, is there a possibility for us to be able to get to hire as part of our group someone that would be able to help track for us to be able to get to our location?
He looks around at all of you. That seems like a good idea to try. I'm unaware of anyone, but if anyone would know the area, it would be the folk of Blazingdale. You might ask, but I do suggest you keep your purposes discreet. I don't know that it would make for a good outcome for you to lead someone to Kundrukar.
Does Daryl ask him if he has any contacts in Blazingdale?
I do not.
Scott, while Vinek is telling the story of the fall of Kundrakar, Hebney is gonna, because Hebney's now been inspired by Nimblebottom to sort of pay attention to people's feelings. He's gonna kind of look over at Baldwin, just to see like how he reacts to hearing the story of the fall of this dwarven stronghold, and I don't know, get a sense maybe if there's a connection there that he has, or if he's just enjoying the ale.
Well, Baldwin always enjoys the ale, but he is clearly pensive about something and seems in a foul mood.
As you're talking, Cathra, his wife, another human, although her skin tone is a little different than his, it seems that perhaps she is Flanaess, more Flan, and he is more Oridian. But she comes in and brings this platter with a roast pheasant, still piping hot, and it looks like it's been kind of stuffed with a dressing or stuffing. And there is some stuffing and some roast potatoes kind of piled around it on the platter. And she sets it down. Well met. Good to see you again. Please, let's eat. And she closes the door and remains in the room with you all. she begins serving pheasant and dressing and potatoes. There's also a big pitcher of gravy.
Oh,
Based on our previous dining experiences, when we sit down, Eric's going to try to sit down next to Hebney, and if he starts getting more food on the floor than he does into his mouth, he's going to just occasionally press digitation, kind of clean it up out of respect for our host.
I was just about to
Nice.
say that after Hebney drains his flagon of ale, he grabs the pitcher of gravy and just fills up his goblet. It's delicious. I love gravy.
The goblet of gravy.
As I always say, Blarg, when in doubt, put some gravy on it.
So she serves each of you with a large helping of sliced pheasant, both white and dark meat. Very, very sumptuous, moist. The skin is very crisp. It's been spiced and seasoned. Some roast potatoes, some dressing, and sets it in front of each of you. Please fill your bellies. Before everyone
Scott takes another bite.
Yeah, I'm eating my dinner. Sorry. As everyone begins to eat, Vinek raises his goblet. He has like a crystal goblet, a little nicer than the service that's on the table. Well, to safety, to success, and to the cause, to your health. Oh, by the way,
Yours.
and he drains his glass, refills it with some wine, pours a glass of wine for his wife as she sits beside him, and he kind of holds her hand on the table, and they smile at each other, and they look back at you. Also, Cathra is skilled in some manner of healing arts, so if anyone needs to be tended to by divine means, she would be more than happy to help restore your health if needed. And she smiles. Of course, yes, absolutely. Whatever I can do. Thank you again for your efforts in the old forest.
That's a very generous offer. We did take a few lumps along the way. So
We will
He's
tend
gonna
to you
take off
after our
his-
meal.
His jacket during the meal, takes off his coat, and you can just see blood has kind of soaked through his undercoat, his undershirt, and he's got a pretty substantial wound that he's been dressing himself, but he's no physician.
Oh my! Yes, we'll tend to that straight away after the meal.
No rush.
Vinek, have you spoken about the terms with them? Oh yes, of course, my lady. Do we agree that 50 gold each up front plus full outfitting is a suitable amount to send you on your way?
Indeed.
Very well.
can make that
And then
work.
we'll give the group an additional 100 gold if you're able to bring back any sort of mapping.
Now, Vinnick, about that 100 gold. You know, I've done business with you before, and you're true to your word, to be sure. If we do map the stronghold return without dying, if we do perhaps find some of these artifacts that you seek, I believe them to likely be worth quite a bit. Perhaps there is some sort of benefits program that we could tap into in terms of their value and utility. You catch my drift.
He kind of smirks at you, always looking to drive the deal. Shrewd.
Well, to be fair,
If I were predisposed to sell these items, I would certainly put you all in for a cut. But we're going to arm brothers and sisters with these items, should they come back to be suitable and serviceable. So I will not be profiting from them. However, if you return with any of these ancient forgings, perhaps an additional 25 gold each for each item you return. So if you return with 5 items, that would be 125 gold each, as a sort of, shall we say, commission.
Aye, that seems fair. Boys, what do you think?
Yeah, that seems fair to me.
Much
Very,
better.
very generous.
Yeah.
Just a moment while the dungeon master removes all the artifacts from the mine. I'll just hang on a second. Yeah, I'll get that. Kidding. No, that makes sense, because if you get to the point where they're there, they're probably not going to be there unguarded or alone. So it could be at your peril that you retrieve these and bring them back. So I'm willing to pay.
And it's settled.
This cause of ours is very close to our hearts. We've lost family in this fight for Neural. We believe Ratic to be under direct threat from 2, possibly 3 directions now, having spoken with Blarg about his understanding of things from a more nefarious perspective, perhaps.
So Daryl asked him just a little bit. Does he command a legion of warriors or military people? Is that kind of what's his role with regards to? He's just interested in the use of all the weapons once he actually gets them. Once we've been able to bring them back.
Kathra is from Neural. From the Bone March, and she was saved by her brother's sword in 563 when the great humanoid horde overtook the Bone March and raided into Spine Castle and took the capital. Neural was the only corner of the kingdom to fight off the horde and continues to fight to this day, but the raids grow. The raids against Neural and even now into Ratic grow a bit more fervent, a bit more frequent. And so, while I don't directly command anyone, because our involvement in this is not known to anyone, to the best of our knowledge, save our contacts in Neural, the Count. Of course, the Lady Evele, who rules Ratic, is aware of our assistance, but it's through financial means and other bits of support that we're able to assist in this effort to keep the humanoids and the Overking Grinnell at bay. Hey, welcome, Raiders, Blue Box, 63,000 people. Welcome aboard. Thanks for coming aboard.
63,000.
63 folks. We are playing some Greyhawk D&D. We're about to embark upon Forge of Fury, that old classic module. We've got it set in the Rakers, the western edge of Ratic, which is currently where the party resides. So thanks for bouncing in, Blue Box. Glad to have you all. That's super, super cool. Nice little raid. Yes. So my efforts are more subversive.
So you'll need to transport the weapons down to Neural.
Yes, we have couriers. We have means to do so. Of course, perhaps if you wish to find your way to the front.
While we're coming back, that might be a thing that we could do to help. We will need some type of a device to be able to hold these weapons, and I think that there may be value for us to be able to get something magical to be able to hold these, along with the other things that we actually find and procure while we're in the forge.
It is my hope.
Yeah. Do you know of anyone that might be able to help us with that, where we might be able to get a device to be able to hold these the things that we actually collect for the cause?
A bag of holding, you say? Yes. He kind of smiles. I think I could arrange for that. Yes, might be a good idea. Hadn't really thought about that. John from Blue Blocks, thanks for that sub. And again, brother, thanks for the raid. Hope your game was great this afternoon. And yeah, hello, Tropico Thunder. Welcome to the Hobbit Hole. Glad to have you aboard. And thanks to all of these followers for joining our little Hobbity family. So once again, thanks to everyone for hanging out. Dave, thanks for posting the Discord. Feel free to join our Discord. It's also quite hobbity and chill. All the cool nerds that love D&D and other RPGs and things like to hang out there. So, all right. So the dinner goes on, and they tell you of their latest. They fund guerrilla small groups that work in the North Kingdom to try to thwart the efforts of the Overking Grinnell along the border with Ratic, just to keep his troops off guard with various tactics and shenaniganry and the like. And also how they've sent weapons and coin down to Nurl directly through couriers to help them defend against the humanoids who have gotten bolder and bolder, raiding directly, trying to break Nurl and overtake it. Much like the discussion that was had when you met with them in Melindra Brambleberry's Chuckling Centaur when you first met them. Yeah.
While the dinner is winding down, Blarg is going to say to Vinnick, I have the message. I've written the message for you to deliver.
Yes, the message to the Knight Protectors.
And he'll reach in. He'll reach under his cloak and he'll pull out the scroll that he's sealed. And he'll hold it in his hand and he'll say, "Before I give this to you, I need to know that your loyalties are with the Knight Protectors."
Well, I do hope that everything I've explained to you should demonstrate that we are in no way in favor of the Overking Grinnell and his evil exploits and his alliances with the evil humanoids that have overtaken the Bone March and driven so many of our people to their deaths. I'll see to it that your message will be delivered safely. You have my word.
The Scarlet Brotherhood is already in Ratic.
So I have heard.
And they have ways of corrupting the seemingly uncorruptible. So I need you to tell me that you're loyal to the Knights and that this message will get there.
He stands and drains his goblet again, sets it on the table, and looks at you and kneels down on one knee, clasping both of your clawed hands, your goblin-y hands.
And toes.
No, not touching those gnarly toes. My friend, ally, Blarg, I swear my fealty to your cause as you have to mine, and I will see that this message be delivered safely to the Knight Protectors in honor of your fallen friend, Sir Roderick.
Blarg will hand him the scroll and say, "Make sure that when this message is delivered, the Knights are told that they must read it through Roderick's eyes."
Read this through Roderick's eyes. Yes, I will see to it that this message is delivered at once. And he stands back up, and the scroll vanishes somewhere into his robes, his folds of his robes. So, when do you plan to set off?
I would suggest first thing tomorrow.
Yeah, it seems like we need to get a few things before we leave. If it's that long of a journey, we need to probably get some horses and some supplies. But then once we're, fully outfitted, I think we probably have everything that we need besides probably that magical bag of holding.
Yes.
And and then hopefully we'll be able to find someone that will be able to help us to guide us to the entrance of the forge.
That would be a question for someone you maybe develop a relationship in Blazingdale, but again, I advise against tipping your hand.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure the locals know where the Stone Tooth is. No one there seems to know anything of the fact that it hides the entrance to Kundrakar.
Well, we have a linguist.
Yes, I'm sure that will be most helpful. As far as outfitting, I might recommend you visit the establishment here in Caverick's Cove, Sunshowers Sundries. A pair of very sweet halflings, Marigold and Iris, are the proprietors. You'll find anything you need there. Anything. I don't know precisely. I haven't figured out how they come by such a variety of wares from such a wide variety of places and times, but they have anything you'll need for your trip, and several things you wouldn't need for your trip.
Perhaps the Hobbit dwarf might invite them on the journey with us.
Kind of.
They are fellow halflings. We'll see what skill sets they have.
Hobbit dwarf. I must say I'm intrigued. Are you part halfling, Mr. Nimblebottom?
No, but I grew up with halflings. So my family I was adopted by a group of halflings when I was young, and they raised me and taught me of the wonderful things that halfling villages have in their community. And I have 3 brothers, all halflings, but they're brothers through me being adopted.
Yes,
so,
yes, of course.
They're not my true blood brothers, but I consider them blood brothers.
I see. Yes, interesting. Well, it seems this is a bit of a troubling development for your friend Baldwin. Understandably so.
I think he's having a hard time coming to grips with it, but
yes,
we'll get there.
I wish you well on that journey.
It'll just take a little bit more time. He'll come to see the wonderful things that halflings have to provide the rest of our community.
Yes, well, I can assure you that Iris and Marigold have all you'll need and more. And please just let them know that this is, in fact, let me send you a letter, just a quick note, so they know to put everything that you need on my standing there, and I will take care of it for you.
Okay. And is there a stable as well that we'd be able to get a few horses?
Yes, let me think about that. Trying to let me think about that one and make sure that I have horses for you at the
maybe the halflings would know.
They may. I'm sure I can round up 5 mounts for you, one way or the other. Have them at the Centaur. You're still staying at Melindra's place, yes?
Yes, we are.
Very well.
One more night.
Yes, of course. Yes, I'll see to it that horses are sent to the stable there for you.
Okay.
I think that could be arranged. Don't go away. Perhaps, Cathra, now would be a great time for you to work your healing ministrations for our friends and get them feeling better, especially Craigbeam. He looks rather rough. Rougher than normal, and he kind of smirks. But no less the craftsman, I'm sure.
I thank you kindly for the meal and the drink.
Oh, and I'll see to it that your 50 gold will be ready for you before you leave here this evening. Make sure you have that map.
And thank you for your service to the Night Protectors.
Of course, thank you for supporting all that is good and right. We are grateful.
Of course.
I know your numbers have dwindled over the decades, but...
Well, we serve a common purpose, you and I.
We do. Who'd have thought I've lived to see the day that I'm allied with a goblin
Aha.
for the cause
I
of
was
Neural.
just thinking the same thing, except human.
Yes, of course.
And-
Very well. Let
and
me
thank you for
fetch
this.
that bag.
Wait,
So,
wait a minute.
Thank him for the meal.
You're a goblin?
No, he's a human. He's taller than we are.
But wait a minute, you're a goblin?
Well, yeah.
Oh, I thought you were just an ugly gnome.
Oh no, no.
All right. What kind of party have I joined here?
Well, pretty short one.
There's that.
To be fair, Blarg, I've seen gnomes uglier than you.
Well, me too, actually. Present company excluded, of course.
Of course, of course.
Okay,
Lay
so
your healing hands on me, Katha.
he
Lay them on me.
He disappears from the room, closes the door, and you can hear his children at once plying him with questions. Did they tell you about the pseudo dragons? Did they tell you? Just going to town, and you can hear him trying to calm them down. And Cathra just kind of laughs. She's, come. And she pulls out on a gold chain somewhere within her robes, also dressed in finery, a holy symbol. Maybe Daryl, roll me a religion.
Sure. Let's see, religion. Ooh,
It's a
that's a 5.
5. Okay, it looks like a kind of a sun, with rays, emanating with maybe a face in it, a male, elderly, bearded face. You're not sure, something to do with the sun, but it's probably good.
Okay. Daryl kind of, and she has it around her neck, or
Yeah, it's on a gold chain. Upon it's like a medallion, probably, yay big. It's not like big and ostentatious, crazy, but very much visible as she pulls it out and kind of clutches it. And
Daryl asks as she does it. Daryl kind of goes. He takes a closer look at what she's doing and asks her, "Are you a woman of the faith?"
Oh yes, of course, the Sun Father, Pelor. Yes, he blesses me with healing ministry. Very, very helpful. Yes, so she lays her hands upon Hebney's chest where his wounds are. And you immediately feel this warmth as she mutters something under her breath, makes a little gesture, almost like she's drawing a sun with little rays upon your chest where your wounds are. Roll a d8, add 3 as she casts Cure Wounds.
Total is 6.
How do you appear based on that bit of healing?
I have other wounds on me that are recent, for sure, that are also bandaged poorly.
Okay. She will also produce from a alcove in the room a medicine kit, a couple of them, and from that you will gain 2 hit points as she cleanses and rebandages all your wounds, and then she'll cast Cure Wounds upon you again for another d8 plus 3.
Another 6 gets me 1 shy of back to total. Perfect.
Baldwin
You
is
probably
gonna-
also notice
Your long rest will take care of that tonight.
Yeah, and she would notice too as my shirt is off, and anybody who's looking at me, Hebney is rail thin, wiry, muscly, sinew and muscle, and he has this scar that runs from clavicle to clavicle, an old scar, gnarled, badly healed, but something that is just part of his history. A large scar, as if someone tried to cut him across the throat.
My heavens, may Pelor watch upon you, all of you, but you in particular seem to have had some trials long ago.
You say you're from the neural area? I got this beauty in the Blemu Hills, just north of there.
Her face kind of darkens. The evils that have taken my country, killed my brother, countless others, all for what?
Conquest, I suppose. Greed. I feel your pain. My people from Dim Hollow, if you've heard of it. In the Flinty Hills.
Yes, of course.
Many did not survive the march across the Bone Marches.
This was dark days. It took them 3 years, but finally succumb.
Well, here's to brighter times in the future, hopefully, with our efforts and your efforts together.
Indeed, yes. Rest well.
Baldwin will pass his jug of whiskey to Ebony. Say, have a slug.
Gladly.
Who else might we help with the warmth and light of Pelor?
I have to say I have a minor wound, but as you know, these days, minor wounds seem to heal exceedingly slowly. So if it's not too much trouble.
Yes, of course. Are you complaining about the dungeon master?
No, of course not. I would never do that.
So she comes over and places her hands upon you, closes her eyes again, saying something under her breath very quietly, and immediately you feel the warmth of Pelor's blessing radiate out from her small, soft hands. D8 plus 3.
Oh, let's see. Oh, D8 plus 3, that's 9. That gets me to full. Oh, thank you very much.
Is Eridus still healing from those original wounds about 2 months ago?
I was healed up from that, but I could take a little bit of healing too if she's still got some.
She's
still around.
We got some juice
Yes.
left.
How's the
Yes,
rest of
of
the party
course.
doing? I mean, how's
Baldwin's in
How's-
great shape. He was out looking at
Yeah.
real estate where you guys were.
Just
off.
drinking and partying.
I've had a few cocktails, while you guys were getting
I'm not sure she can help with the liver damage, but
That's right, exactly.
Yeah, that far exceeds my deity's powers.
yeah.
Yes, my elven friend, could I come to you and help you as well?
I would appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay, so again, she clutches her holy symbol and then lays her hands upon you, and you feel the warmth of Pelor's blessing emanate from her. D8 plus 3.
Woo-hoo. I got all kinds of blessing there. I'm back to full.
Very well. And what about you, Hobbit Dwarf? She kind of smirks over at Baldwin.
Yeah. Baldwin or Daryl? Daryl.
You.
Daryl says, no, I've been able to pray to my own god, Velnius, my god, and I've been able to heal up until this point. So thank you. And
Excellent. Lovely. Well, that is good. These glad tidings that the gods still have sway in these dark days.
Well, thank you for everything you've done for us.
Yes, of course. I think that you will be able to secure healing at sun showers. I'll see to it that Vinek includes some healing magics for you on his letter to them. It's not well known that they do deal in some magical items, most commonly potions of healing. But I think that he could probably arrange for each of you to get 2 of those for your travels.
I was actually going to ask about that. So, thank you.
Very well.
Do you know of anyone in town with the ability to identify magical items?
Good question. You might check with the wizard. He may. I don't know much about him. I know that we pay him each year to display the most brilliant pyrotechnic display for the children at the holidays. But I don't know if he's able to. I would assume so, but I don't know for a fact. But you might try at his tower.
Wonder if he can summon a bolt of lightning. We find ourselves in need of a bolt of lightning.
Whatever for? She looks at you very naively.
I think it might be you might say restorative in nature.
I've not ever heard of lightning being restorative.
It's like
She
a
kind of
it's like a
crinkles up her
spa,
nose.
it's like a spa treatment.
Well, I'm no healer, so I guess I'm just going on a hunch.
I see.
But if he can summon one,
Well, you might ask if you decide to go visit him.
yeah, I think we'll do that.
You need to stop talking to your friend Google.
Yes, very well. And as you're just kind of making small talk and gathering your things, Vinek returns, and he holds up a beautiful sack. Yes, I thought we'd have something. And he hands it to Daryl. This would make a nice means by which you can transport back any of the artifacts safely.
Daryl takes it and says, "Thank you very much," and we'll sure to come with this loaded to the brim.
Yes.
With what remains to be seen.
Let's under promise and over deliver.
Like any good businessman, I guess.
Vanek, if you would, do you think it would be possible to request 2 potions of healing for each of our friends from Marigold and Iris? And he kind of smirks and holds up his letter, and you see it right on there that he's already asked for those specific items. Yes, had we not put that in our request, they would have probably told you they don't have such things, given that you're strangers in town. Catherine tells me you're looking to have some magical items identified.
Sorry, the peanut gallery was talking there. We just have a few things we collected after our encounter in the forest. I'm just curious if they might have any sort of magical properties. So.
Well, you might check the Odd House. That's the name the wizard has given his residents. He trains others in the arcane arts. Lendis Vatathri is his name. Seems like a good enough fellow, but he might be able to.
Check there before we head out.
Yes.
Well, I guess it's time for us to make the final arrangements and then head off tomorrow.
Is there anything else I can answer or do for you?
You have been a very generous host, and I'll kind of look around over where Hebney was sitting, and again, if there's any kind of food that didn't quite make it into his mouth, I'll sort of clean it up a little bit.
There is quite a bit. If there's any gravy left, Hebney will fill up his goblet one more time, and sort of like as he's walking out with the goblet, like he's gonna kind of just take a roadie.
Nice, the ever-filling goblet of gravy. Excellent.
Did Eridith take the OCD feat? Is that the?
I'm just being respectful of our hosts.
I gotta check the player's handbook again one more time, see if it's in there.
All right, so it is evening is beginning to fall. You've spent a few hours with the Onstrads in their residence. Where do you go from here? It's probably like 6:30, 7 p.m. and the shadows are lengthening.
Well, we need to get provisioned and we need to get to the wizard, I guess, but maybe those places aren't open anymore. We can check.
Could stop by the Sundry House. Might be good to give them the list of things we need. And they
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Tile it.
yeah, why don't we should probably go there first, and then at the same time we could then on the way back go to the odd house to see if the wizard could identify what we've collected in the forest, and then probably get back to the I forget the name of where
The
we were
Chuckling
staying.
Centaur.
Chuckling Centaur, and then take off early in the morning.
That seems like a good itinerary.
Okay.
Okay, so you make your
So
way to the Sunshine's Sundries, correct?
Yes.
That's where
All
I'm
right,
going.
so let me point you in the right direction on your map. Let me get to that in my materials. I think that's number 11. It is. Number 11 is actually straight across the street to the north, right there on the corner in that northern Y. You'll see looks like a single-story building, like human-sized. But you know from what Vinek told you that it is run by halflings. Single-story building. You're able to walk right in. There's a sign over the door, Sun Showers Sundries. And as you enter, it appears like you're in the home of a hoarder. There's a lot of stuff on shelves, stacked here and there, standing free on the floor. Narrow aisleways. There is a counter kind of toward the back. There's some cases. Let me give you a description. Hey, Dice Fix, thanks for the sub, man. Good to see you, Preston. Thank you for that very much. I really appreciate your support. Thank you, buddy. Dice Fix is a dice maker, so connect with him if you wish to commission really cool, sparkly, awesome shinies, because I've seen a lot of his work and it's really cool. So good to see you, Preston. Thanks for bouncing in, my friend. So as you enter, there's just stuff stacked everywhere. There's flags, sleds, snowshoes, like hanging from the ceiling. There's bookshelves, looks like fiction, non-fiction titles. There's a barrel on the wall. Next to that is a glass case that looks like it's full of exotic candles, various containers of military iron rations. And then there's a stairway that points down with a sign, more stock, downstairs. And behind the counter are a pair of halfling ladies. Welcome to our shop. Good to see you. I'm Marigold, and the other one smiles. I'm Iris. They have like matching little aprons, and their hair's kind of tied back. Couple of moderately plump little halfling gals. They look to be, let me see here. One is aged 44, one is aged 38. So by halfling standards, fairly young adults. What can we do for you all? Yes, good to see you. Oh, Hebney, yes. How are you?
Good to see you, my dears. You've tidied up a bit, I see. Looks good.
Well, thanks for noticing. We try. With every week we get another shipment of goods, and it's hard to stay on top of everything, as you well know.
Inventory all the time, I imagine. Listen, the boys and I are heading out on an adventure.
Oh, well, that's exciting. Where to?
Well, we're not at liberty to say.
Oh, well, far be it from
yeah,
me to inquire further, but we would be happy to see you on your way with anything that we could help you find.
Suffice it to say that Vinek has sent us and is outfitting our party.
Oh, well, then we should spend his money, shouldn't we?
Aye.
Have you a list? And Iris steps up. Yes, a list. Show us this list. What can we get for you? And she's like ready to scuttle around and round up whatever it is that you're looking for.
Well, no, we'll be looking for the, the typical traveling gear. But I'm curious. In your acquisitions, have you come across anything that might help make an old gnome like me a little bit quicker on my feet?
Might have something. It's not a permanent thing, but would work in a pinch if you needed it for a certain situation.
Yeah, I'm interested. I'm listening.
Before you can finish that, Iris disappears down the stairs. Marigold shouts after her, "Now be careful when you bring that up. It's glass." And you hear Iris, some kind of muffled response as she vanishes down the stairs. Just the thing.
Are we going to be needing winter traveling gear then, boys? Snowshoes and the such?
Yes, depending on where you're headed, but if it's anywhere in this region or west to the mountains, just won't be long before first flakes fall.
Hebney pulls out his list and adds snowshoes.
Warm coats, plenty of rations. How long will you be gone?
Probably a
2
few weeks.
Ah, yes. Well, we can get the rations together. We certainly have plenty of fur-lined cloaks. And she kind of starts looking. She comes from around behind the corner. No shoes, of course, furry-topped feet. Looking about, rings on her toes. Starts kind of sizing up everybody. Yes, okay. 2 dwarves. Elf, but different. And what's this, a goblin?
Oh, where? No, that's me.
Yes, well, we can get you fur cloaks and warm woolens and all the like. Yes, we'll have that together. It's going to take us a couple of hours. When do you plan to depart?
Morning time.
Oh, well, we could have things ready in the morning for sure.
Hey, you wouldn't happen to have like a goblin-sized suit of studded leather armor, would you?
Let's go downstairs. We'll go downstairs and have a look.
Yeah, that sounds good. I
Iris,
find this armor.
Iris, I'm sending down the goblin.
Yeah, that's me.
Just go on downstairs. Iris will find it for you.
All right, I'll go downstairs.
Okay, so you go downstairs. Let's see. You see gardening tools, construction materials and tools. Looks like there's a tunnel that maybe goes out to an opening. But everything down here is a little bit more hobbit-sized, which is fine for you. You're fine. But there's clothing. There's a couple of doors, round, hobbity sort of tunnely doors. And just lots and lots of gear, climbing gear, mining equipment, construction things, any and all manner of, backpacks, various sets of tools, all manner of items are stacked here and there on shelves, in nooks, on, just stacked up on the floor. And out pops from some of the stacks Iris, and she has a fur, something wrapped in fur in one hand. What is it you're looking for there?
I'm looking for a goblin-sized suit of studded leather armor.
Oh, well, yes. Armor back here. Come. And she leads you down one of the tunnels, and it opens up into a room, and there's all manner of armor, weapons. You're kind of surprised at the variety, and some of this stuff looks to be quite foreign. Like not what you'd expect to see in a sleepy little fishing village of several hundred people.
I want to look. I'll start looking through it, but I'm looking for a normal, understated set of studded leather armor. Nothing too flashy.
Sure. She leaves you to your business and disappears, and she heads upstairs with the others. And, after a few minutes of looking around, you find a very serviceable set of small studded leather armor that looks like it might fit a halfling or a dwarf. Probably has to, maybe have to tighten the buckles and straps a little bit to, fit your lesser girth. But the height is definitely right. The arm length is right. Legs, torso. And you can definitely get yourself into that, no problem. Looks to be solid quality and condition. It's even the leather has been oiled and it's not all like dry and cracky or anything like that.
Yeah, I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna take that back up.
Very good. Iris bounces back upstairs and comes to Hebney. Look what I have for you. And she opens she's got this fistful of fur, and she unfolds. It's a hide of some sort, and in it is a vial. And the vial is this yellow fluid, and it's kind of streaked and swirled with black. Drink this, and you'll be quite hasty for at least a minute.
Aha! Wonderful.
If you want to put a potion of speed upon your character sheet. You gain the effect of the haste spell for 1 minute. Obviously, no concentration. Yes. So, okay. So, a few weeks of rations, warm weather gear. Are you mountaineering? Are you dungeoneering? Do you need any supplies along those lines?
I've got a list here.
Ah.
Climber's kits.
Okay. Yep. Check.
Grappling hook.
Yes. Okay.
Healer's kit. Perhaps one for each of us.
Okay.
If possible.
Yes. Very good.
Vinnick said something about healing potions.
Did he now?
Aye.
Let me see that list. She kind of snatches it out of your hand, and the note that Vinnick had provided you guys. She looks. Oh, so he did 2 each. Well, my goodness, he's ready to part with some coin, isn't he?
Aye. It's a good day for all of us.
Yes, it is.
Hooded
Okay.
lantern.
Yes, of course.
Oil flasks, a couple apiece, I suppose.
Yes,
Miner's pick.
Very well.
Portable ram. Because. Shovel. Pythons. Or pitons, however you say it. A couple of tents.
I call them rock sticks.
Water skins. Couple apiece, I imagine. Whetstone. And this one, I don't know if you have it. But if anybody does in Caverick's Cove, it's you. I've heard say of an alchemical mixture that is quite explosive. They call it alchemist's fire.
Yes, of course. No problem. I'll give it an extra wrap in the fur hide, though.
Thank you.
I've seen you at work.
Daryl turns to Hedney and it says, we haven't actually figured out what each of us have at this point, and even simple things like rope. I have a feeling where we're going, we might need it, and it might be good to at least get a couple bundles of 50-foot rope for us for this.
Yes.
And then the only other thing that Daryl turns to, I forget what's her name. The
Marigold is kind of taking the lead.
Marigold.
Iris seems a little, maybe just a little less.
turns to
assertive.
Marigold, and Daryl comes to her and says, we might need to open something heavy, very heavy.
Well, crowbar,
Yeah, heavier.
hammer.
Do you have any suggestions with regards to opening something extremely heavy? And
Is it you mean a crate?
maybe a door, something extremely heavy that we
Oh,
wouldn't
well,
be
he said something about a portable ram. That'd get you through a heavy door.
He was hoping for something maybe that we could that maybe is magical, that we could maybe increase our strength just a little bit. Any chance that you might have a mixture or a potion that would be able to help us with our
Right.
strength?
Let me see. That's a tough one. She kind of looks at Iris. Iris looks at her as if they're doing this like mental inventory game. I don't think we have any such things.
Even if we didn't take one of those healing potions instead, to switch it with maybe.
It's not a matter. He'll pay for whatever you need, so it's not a matter of that. It's just whether or not I have it. I don't have any, like a potion of makes you stronger. Yeah.
Okay. It was worth asking.
Of course. Yes. Good question. And hey, when it's somebody else's coin,
Hey, that's right.
we're happy to oblige.
Well, now that you mention it, is there a way to provide stealth? In case we wanted to
provide
go
stealth.
somewhere and not be seen or heard, perhaps.
Well, there's things that could make you unseen. I don't know if we have such a thing, though. Let me consult. She gets behind the counter, and she could see her fumbling through what looks like maybe a ledger. Probably inventory, some such. You know. There is one item we have. I'm going to have to send Iris over to Vinnick, though, because this one's not cheap. But it's a ring.
Really?
Yes. Yes, it is. We'll ask Vinnick if he's okay with that.
Baldwin likes rings.
Yes, I'm sure. You're a dwarf. She winks at you. Kind of blows you a little kiss.
I catch it.
Oh.
What a charmer.
All right. Anything else on your list?
Marigold, you got anything weird that we should know about?
Well, you have to be a little more specific than
Something
that.
real
'Cause I
special
have.
that we could.
Really weird.
Off the top of your head.
I'm at a loss, honestly. Like a tool or a drink.
You got some weird drink?
Of course. We have some wonderful, wonderful ales and things from distant lands.
Have you ever had a liquor made from parsnip before?
Can't say that I have. Sounds kind of
Well,
weird.
and he kind of steps aside and gestures to Baldwin. Let me introduce you to my friend here.
Just so happens that I am in the process of creating a distilled version of a parsnip vodka. We'll be calling it Podka, and it'll be made right here in Caverns Cove.
Really? Would you need anyone to handle its distribution?
Well,
I'm sure you'll sell it here yourself locally. I'm thinking in terms of Marner, perhaps the Northern Kingdom, Rattic
Yes.
Hill.
totally. Absolutely.
Well, let us
All of the above.
let us discuss this. Yes,
I mean, I can't adventure forever. I have to have something to, retire on.
of course.
Well,
And the
Baldwin's-
parsnips here are
Baldwin's
most
looking
excellent.
For passive income right now. He's trying to negotiate passive income at this
Yes.
point for the party.
The parsnips here are most excellent.
Indeed, they are.
And you say you're going to make this yourself right here in Caverns Cove.
Yes, I'm in the process of looking for a place to work as we speak.
Oh, well, I think that once you return from your adventure, we should get together. Here's my little card. I mean, you know where to find me. And she gives you like a little card with Marigold Sunshowers, Sundries. We should definitely, because I'm sure that the Nereid and the Centaur will wish to have it available locally. But if you need to distribute far and wide, well, that's where we can help.
Yes, I am very interested.
Very well. We'll discuss this upon your safe return. Most
Well,
excellent.
the only other thing I can think of, Marigold, is some of that fine leaf that you typically have in stock.
Oh, of course. How much?
Oh, I'll take 6 bundles.
My
It's gonna be
goodness.
a long trip.
Of course, yes. We'll have that packed straight away. We'll pack it so that the wet can't get to it because it's gonna start snowing soon. I'm sure. Again, especially if you're headed west. She kind of pauses and looks at you, looks at all of you.
Might
I
as
see
well
what you're trying
refill
to
my
do.
We might as well refill my kegs and jugs while we're at it.
Well, what can we stock you up on?
Whatever, powerful ales and stouts you might have. Hard
Yes.
liquors.
Very well. We have a couple of nice stouts from Marner, and a couple of nice numbers from up in the mountains that you might particularly enjoy. Good dwarf. I'll have all
Sounds
that
like an
ready for you
epic
tomorrow.
Camping trip. It's
Yes.
gonna be the best camping trip ever.
Yes, it will. Very well. Will there be anything else we can have ready? We'll have it for you at dawn.
Wonderful.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Yeah, Daryl says thank you, and then kind of it turns to everyone and says, "Do you need me to put anything in the bag?" And specifically to Hebney, if he wants me to hold on to some of this in the bag of holding.
Aye.
Okay,
And you
so
will
we-
have you'll have horses and saddlebags and all that stuff as well. So
So we're able to, we're despite all the goods that were taken, we're able to walk out pretty easily because of this. So, and with that, Daryl kind of turns to him, waves, and gives him a hobbit wave goodbye, knowing how to signal back.
oh
to the
sure,
hobbit.
yeah, and they kind of giggle and smile and fire it right back to you.
That's right.
Yep.
I'm
Baldwin
sure Baldwin shakes his head and is wondering what the hell's going on. And then Daryl will walk out the door to kind of walking over. And we ask actually them before if they know the way to the odd house.
Oh yes, of course. The odd house. If you're headed south, and she kind of pauses. Okay, right. So the odd house is the second to last. Excuse me. No, it's the. Well, let me check. Hang on. It's been a while since I think it's the.
I wonder how many people confuse it with the outhouse.
You'd be surprised. Yes. Yes, it's the second to last house on the way out of town, right before the south gate. You can see there on the map in the stream, number 23.
So Daryl again waves and says thank you and walks out the door and kind of motions towards the rest of the party to join him.
Very well. We'll have it ready in the morning.
All right.
Go to the odd house.
So we head up towards the odd house.
Not to be confused with the outhouse. It has gotten rather dark. It's probably close to 8 p.m. now. But you make your way down to the odd house. Again, you have to kind of go straight south down the main thoroughfare in town here. Let me organize my many pieces of paper. Streets are pretty quiet. It's cold enough you can see your breath. The Odd House is a 2-story mortar and timber home. It's gray and black. And honestly, it's just kind of a gray and black house. I'm not sure, the Odd House, what that's all about. But as you approach, you notice there's some strange colored lights glowing within the windows and some eerie sounds as you approach the front door. You can hear kind of whispering behind its walls and windows.
Well, this is strange.
I would call it odd. Go up and knock on the door.
There's a rope.
Daryl pulls the rope.
Big chime, kind of a creepy chime that plays a really odd brief tune, kind of echoes inside. And after a few moments, the door opens and you see a scrawny teenage human in dark robes. Yes, may I help you?
hope it is not too late, but understand that we're would like to speak to the wizard of the house, please.
Ah, yes, to Vatathri, Lendas Vatathri, yes. I'm Kangela, welcome. He motions you in. Looks like he's probably 18 or 19 years old, rather skinny human. He has like horn-rimmed glasses, very studious looking, stereotypical looking young wizard. He leads you into a small room right off the entrance to the house. And you can hear chanting and what sounds like maybe incantations coming from upstairs. There's some light, different colored light that glows now and then. There are some candles in sconces upon the walls, giving the whole place this kind of a dim, eerie glow. It's carpeted, so your footfalls are muted at best. And you make your way into this small room. There's a table there, window out overlooking the street. There's a candle on the table. Numerous tomes line the walls and shelves. There's several chairs around this table, 7 chairs to be exact, 1 at the head and then 3 on each side. Please have a seat. I'll find Master Vatathri and have him come see you straight away.
Hey, are you a student? Are you a student here?
Yes, I am.
Can you summon lightning? Have you learned that yet?
No, that far exceeds my ability.
That's
Summon lightning. Not even sure I've heard of that. No.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yes, I'm sure. But I'll fetch Master Vatathri. Please have a
I
seat.
wonder if he can shock somebody with his touch.
I can do that.
Yeah.
And he comes over to you and he scuffles his feet on the carpet and zaps you. I learned that one.
That's the wrong guy.
Yeah, I didn't
Oh,
get it.
someone needs to be shocked on purpose?
Try the Hobbit dwarf.
Show me the way.
Yeah.
What's a hobbit dwarf? I see a gnome. I see a dark-looking elvish fellow. No judgment. I see a goblin, which is interesting, and a gnome and 2 dwarfs, but I don't see a hobbit dwarf.
Well, he kind of looks like a dwarf, but he's the other one.
I see.
Shock him.
He scuffs his feet on the carpet and comes over and goes, "Pfft," and you get a little pink, that little library carpet shock from, junior high school.
Daryl goes, "Hello, nice to meet you," and then turns to Blark, "Nothing."
Uh-oh. So you still feel like killing all of us? That's not good.
Well,
I think we need a bigger shock.
I think we need a bigger shock.
Hey, Lord Gazumba, thanks for that sub, brother. Appreciate the resub. Appreciate the support. Make sure if you're into Greyhawk D&D, you check out the Lord Gazumba channel. He's our kind of our lead streamer in the Greyhawk community. He's a Twitch partner. That's exciting. And in fact, we're probably going to raid into his Gabbin at the Peaks tonight. If I remember correctly, I think Ed Greenwood is going to be hanging out. I think that's tonight. It was either tonight or last week. But at any rate, Lord Gazumba, thank you very much.
So at this point, Daryl turns to Eridith and says, "Why don't you take out the items that we have, and maybe that they'll be able to actually help us with sorting out what these actually do."
I will place the items on the table while we're waiting for the wizard of the house.
And I forget which ones that we had.
We've got a longsword, we've got a cloak, and we've got a buckler that were all being wielded by that Malthus that we encountered. So if any one of those creatures had magical items, it would have been her. Particularly interested in the sword.
The cloak might be useful. Cloak might there might be something there.
Cloak full of black feathers.
Yeah.
Maybe that wizard could identify my slippers.
Ooh. But then you would have to actually not only just show your toes, but
Well, I don't care about that so much.
all your feet.
But I'm not sure the wizard would know what type of rabbit, bunnies those are.
So after a few minutes of sitting and speculating and waiting, you see entering the room this little old man in dark robes, no pointed hat, just a bald head, human, male. He's probably mid-70s. No hair on his head whatsoever, not even on his face. Yes, my young apprentice here tells me you're looking to have something identified.
Yeah, and maybe a big blast of lightning.
A big blast of lightning, you say? Oh, that's a bit dangerous in an enclosed space such as this.
Well, the rest of us will leave, and you can just, hit the guy we need you to hit. It's for his own good.
I see. Which of you needs this blast of lightning?
Blarg will point at the Hobbit dwarf.
And Daryl just kind of, it's me. It may work. I've been struggling with this, and I think that.
What is it we're hoping to accomplish besides your death? Exactly.
The hope is that it's going to stop me having these horrendous dreams. I've been having horrible dreams, and I don't understand what's going on. It all started when I was actually struck by lightning to serve my god, and since then anytime that we actually go into battle, I go into a rage that I don't understand what I'm doing, and then at night it haunts and torments me, almost like I'm not supposed to be doing what I'm doing. And it all started with me being struck by lightning, and maybe if I'm struck again, it will stop what's been happening to me.
And so I'm no wizard, but that's my working theory. We hit him again with a big blast of lightning. Boom, back to normal.
And Daryl, as he does this, takes off his the cloak that he's wearing, and he kind of pulls the hair from his face, and then you can see how half of his face has been scarred and distorted and disfigured.
This is a bit risky. Wouldn't you say?
Who, me? It's not any risk to me.
No,
I'm gonna leave the room.
Not you, Goblin. I can see you're not concerned. But my hobbit dwarf friend.
Daryl looks straight at him and says, "This is what I've been searching for." And it's either this or potentially if I'm able to. The last night we were here, that I had a vision that I needed to recover an ancient dwarven sword or some large weapon and return it, and potentially by doing this would please my god enough to release me from this.
Well, perhaps you should go the route of the ancient sword then, rather than trying your luck with a lightning bolt. Just a hunch. And he kind of looks in the direction of the goblin. From a wizard.
Oh, I'm no wizard, so if that's
Clearly.
what you think.
Clearly.
Well, if that's what you think, I guess that's okay.
I mean, I could do it, but I fear for your health.
Well, not mine, because I'm going to leave the room.
I'm speaking to the hobbit dwarf.
Yeah. So I guess we'll hold that in reserve, and if he can't find the ancient sword, we'll come back to you.
Yes, well, of course.
That's just sort of massaging his temples for a minute. In the meantime, we encountered a Malthus out in the
His
woods.
eyes get like, a Melfish, you say? Do you still have
I
it?
say a Malthus. No, it is quite dead.
Where's the
It
carcass? Corpse?
Out near the what was it?
The fairy ring.
Fairy ring. Yes.
He kind of
If it's still there.
tries to
I'm
straighten
not
up.
sure if the
How long ago was
residents,
this?
it would have been just
Yesterday.
Oh, it's gone, I'm sure.
Cats probably got it already.
Oh, I don't think any cats went near that. Oh, shame. I could have used that. For research.
Sorry,
Yes.
we did not consider
Well, so
that at the time.
what is it you'd like me to identify, and how much coin have you got?
Well, there were 3 items we recovered. This longsword. He points to the longsword on the table. Do you charge per item or charge?
Well,
We're curious if any of these are magical. First of
yes, because each, if you wish to tell if they're magical, that's a different story. But if you wish me to identify them, well, that will cost you some coin per item. Perhaps for 5 gold, I could determine if they're magical.
all, that sounds fair to me.
And then
I'll
we
hand
could
him
go
a-
from there, because detecting
Let's-
magic is
Let's do that.
it's no big deal.
Let us do
very
that.
Good, very good. All right, well, let's see the coin.
I will hand him 5 gold.
Oh, you could just set it on the table.
I will
Trust-
place 5 gold on the table.
Trust you. Yes, well then, let me see. And he begins some sort of incantation and some gestures. And he steps back and he begins looking around the room. And anything that anyone has visible on them, he can tell that it's magic. And so he spends a lot of time studying each of you. Yes, there seems to be a fair amount of magic in this space, actually. And he kind of smiles, and he hasn't even looked at the items on the table.
I'll just sort of nod my head towards the table.
Oh, well, of course. Yes, let me see. It seems that cloak is got very strong magical properties.
Not the sword?
It appears to be a fine blade, but no, it's not magical.
That's disappointing. So we wanted to know more about the cloak. What would that set one back?
Yes, well, identifying items isn't an inexpensive hobby. Whoops, sorry, I can't type very well into D&D Beyond.
As the wizard rolls a percentile dice.
And was the buckler didn't give off any magical?
No. Again, a nice little shield, but nothing arcane has been cast upon it. Let me see. This is going to cost you a good 125 gold to have me identify this item.
I can pitch in some gold.
I can say that it does exude illusionary magic. It's something
There-
to do with creating an illusion.
Daryl will throw in 30 gold to help.
Ah, yes. Now we're getting somewhere. Yes, feel free to add to the pile. 125.
So what are we up to?
I'll put in 40. So that should be 70 right there, right?
Argo put in 30.
That's 100.
100 I can throw in. I was going to throw in 30, but we're up to. Actually, we all throw in 30, then we only need. Then Baldwin only needs to throw in 30.
If you all throw in 25, you'll have precisely 125 gold.
That's true.
Yes. There we
Why
go.
don't we all throw in 25?
Baldwin,
Someone's
you're
doing that.
muted.
No wonder you didn't hear it. Yeah. Yeah, 25 each. There you go.
That's good.
Yes, very well done, gentlemen. Of course. Let me see now. He fumbles around a bit in his robes and produces a very, very fine pearl and pulls out a long gray and black, very wide, thick feather. And he looks at you all. May I hold up the cloak? I need to touch it. Of course, yes.
Okay.
He kind of pulls the cloak over his shoulder and he kind of begins kind of stroking it. And he puts the pearl in his teeth. And he's got the owl feather in one hand and he just kind of closes his eyes. And he begins to mutter something. And then he gives a flourish with the feather. It's a very special cloak. I'll spare you the embarrassment of asking where you got it, but this is a cloak of displacement.
Baldwin's like, wow, mine doesn't look like that.
It looks as if when you wear it and you are attuned to it, it makes you look like you're in one place when really you're in another. The places are not far from each other, but it's very handy indeed while combating someone, because they may mistake your location for where the cloak displaces you.
Yes, I have one myself. They're quite handy.
Have you? Oh, very nice. It's a very different looking cloak than this.
Yes, that's why I didn't recognize it myself.
It's going to be quite handy. So, thank you very much.
Yeah, the cloak itself has a large cowl and hood. Has kind of folds around the neck. It sort of overlaps. Very, very dark, almost purplish, blackish dark. It has these odd kind of, I don't know, you ever seen like velvet ropes? Same color, except they're thinner than that. And then it kind of opens up like a, you ever see those dog brushes that have the spikes all over them that you use to pull like coarse dog hairs off of a dog? Kind of like pads like that. And then the bottom half of it is this really, really dark forest green. It has this beautiful embroidered hem work on it. Very, very nice. Yes,
You guys said it was aligned with feathers too last time. So.
Well, it turns out the feather lining on it was the feathers on the Malthus.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it looked like while he was wearing it, like it was lined
okay.
with feathers, but
Cool.
yes. So a cloak of displacement.
Okay.
Creatures have disadvantage on attack rolls against you. If you take damage, the property ceases to function until the start of your next turn. It doesn't work while incapacitated, restrained, or otherwise unable to move. So you can find it in the DMG, whoever's going to have it and attune to it. Cloak of displacement. Yes, well, and he kind of snatches up the gold. Excellent. Anything else I could do for you, gentlemen?
I don't think so. We might be back for that lightning.
Well, you know where to find me.
Indeed we do.
Lightning, yes.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you very much.
That's my pleasure. And the apprentice returns and shows you to the front door.
All right.
So Baldwin already has a cloak of displacement, it sounds like. So
It's just a different brand, I guess, because mine doesn't look quite like that.
Baldwin
guess-
has the Ralph
Take it.
Lauren style.
Yeah.
Who do we want to give it to?
This is the Gucci.
This
Well,
is the
I-
Gucci. Yeah. exactly.
I guess the first question is, it came off of the Malthus was just sort of average, medium sized, right?
Yeah, it's a human-sized, medium-sized creature.
So, do we know? Well, if someone gets attuned to the cloak, does it like adjust to fit them? Because
Yeah, that's typically how those things work.
Okay.
Yep,
right, okay. Well, make sure on that.
absolutely.
Doesn't matter to someone.
So who
Doesn't have a
has
strong
the,
interest in it.
Yeah, who has the lowest AC? The lowest AC. That might be the person to actually benefit the most, probably. It's definitely not Daryl's AC is 18, so I don't think it's that.
I've got 16.
17 for me.
Blarg's a 15.
And Baldwin already has one, so I don't know. It might make sense to have to give it to Blarg just because he's the easiest one to hit.
Yeah. Normally Baldwin is a 15 as well, so that's why I like having it.
Yeah.
Just makes it that much more difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Good to
That
me.
works for me.
Well, I'll take it if no one else wants it.
All right, so Blarg, you have a cloak of displacement. Wearing it for an hour and just kind of sitting with it, focusing upon it, meditating a bit, and you'll find yourself attuned to it. All right,
Twinsies.
twinsies. So, where to next? You visited the outfitter, the Sundries. You visited the Odd House. Anything else this evening?
Sounds like we have a busy day tomorrow. We should probably get some rest.
Time for a
Ebony
nightcap,
will,
I would
head-
say.
Ebony's going to head back to his workshop and take care of as much as he can take care of that's on his list of jobs. He'll probably work late into the night because he's got quite a list of tasks that he has to accomplish.
Okay. The rest of you back to the Chuckling Centaur to rest.
Yep.
All right.
Sounds good.
And will we when we get back there, hopefully the only thing I think we're all set. We've got everything we need except the horses.
Right. Okay, so you make your way to the Chuckling Centaur. Come in the front door. Melindra Brambleberry bounces right out. Hey, good evening. Do you all know anything about horses? Onstrad sent 5 horses. Sounds like you're going on a little trip. He's got them with saddlebags and all sorts of things.
Yes, that's us.
Very well. Okay, yes. So those are in the stables to the back. When do you plan to leave?
We'll be heading out in the morning.
Very well, very well. We should probably settle up for your stay. It was a gold piece a night. I think you've been here. This will be your 3rd night. I hope that you found everything to your liking. I presume your meeting with Vanek and Kathra has gone well. If he's supplying you with horses, I have to imagine it has.
Oh, yes, everything seems to be going pretty well so far.
Excellent. Most excellent. All right. Will there be anything that you need? What time do you wish to be awakened in the morning for your journey?
Daylight.
Very well. We can do that. You certainly feel free to avail yourselves the dining room. It's pretty quiet. God's Day is it's like a Tuesday on our calendar, so it's pretty dead in here. Just a human male and female. They look to be married, enjoying a quiet dinner near the fire. It is cold enough out that you can all easily see your breath. It has become quite chilly.
Well, I think hot toddies all the way around as a nightcap are in order. And put them on my tab.
Yes, very well. We could certainly warm all of you up nicely. Please make yourselves comfortable, and I'll see that these hot toddies are together and on your table before you can count to 10. Count slowly. She kind of winks and scuttles off in her customary friendly. Oh, wait. Aren't we missing someone? Where's your tinker friend?
Tinkering.
Should have known. Very well. And she heads off behind the bar to prepare your beverages.
Go ahead and send his toddy as well. I'll have it.
Of course. Yes, very well. Will do. And so, true to fashion, true to her word, as you all get yourselves settled around the table, get your outer gear off if you take any of that off. Within just a mere moments, she returns with a tray of very warm, very alcoholic beverages. Sets one in front of each of you, two of them in front of Baldwin, and it appears that our good friend Hay Wilson is awarding player advantage to everyone in the party, so make sure you mark that on your character sheet. Thank you, Dave. Hay Wilson. Dave plays a fairy rune knight on our Monday night game, Mysteries in the Dalelands.
Thanks, Dave.
Yeah.
Thanks, Dave.
Thanks, Dave. Uncle Dave. All right. So yes, there you are, sitting around the table. There's a nice fire crackling on the hearth. The couple. And DM advantage. Nice. Is that advantage or disadvantage? Is plural? Wow. He's burning through the leaves. Thanks, Dave. Love you, man. You get, oops, I missed the L. You get a cursory glance from the couple, and then they go back to their conversation as they're eating. And
anything interesting about them? Blarg's going to look him over as he's drinking his hot toddy. See if he notices anything unusual.
Yeah, sure. Give me insight.
Oh, give you insight. I'm sure that'll be fine. You always pick the one I suck at. Well, I got a 5.
Nice. Yeah, they look like people enjoying a meal.
Great.
They're probably well acquainted.
That's what I thought.
Good thing you checked. All right. Anything else while you enjoy your hot toddies?
I'm good.
I think Daryl will have his drink and then he'll go back to his room, pray to his God like he normally would, and hope for an uneventful evening.
Very well. Very well. Hebney, will you be turning in at some point to get your long rest in?
Yeah, he'll get a long rest in, but he's going to work as much as he can
Very good.
to wrap up some of these projects and get them ready for shipping.
Gotcha. All right. Very well. So, one by one, you guys finish your beverages and find your way to your rooms. Everyone sleeps soundly, thanks in large part to the healing efforts of Cathra Anstrad. Everybody should awaken at full hit points in the morning. At dawn, there's a soft knock on your door, and you hear Lily Brambleberry, the niece of Melindra, knocking upon your door to awaken you. And when you make your way to the tap room, Melindra has already packed little like to-go bags for each of you with warm biscuits, dried meats and cheeses, and some fruits. Basically rations for the day. And she's there waiting for you. Dave, I have so many new dice. I got, 6 new sets on my last road trip, and I bought them in Seattle. So they have to be good because they're, from the home of Dungeons and Dragons. the second home of Dungeons and Dragons. But we'll see. At any rate, so she's standing there and she smiles. Well, good morning, friends. I've packed rations for the day. You'll find fresh baked bread, hard cheeses, dried meats, some fruit, and there's a sack for your tinker friend as well. See that Hebney gets his this time, and she kind of smirks at Baldwin.
Thanks for doing that. That's really nice of you.
So compliments of the chuckling centaur, and I wish you Beori's blessing on your journey.
Thank you for that.
Yes, of course.
Let's mount up. Let's move out.
Hit the road.
Yeah, Hebney will obviously join up at this point with the group.
Okay. Yeah, so you find yourselves out in front of the Chuckling Centaur, and your mounts are already out there, brushed, stamping in the cold. It is frickin' cold. Hard frost upon everything. And you're ready to make your way in the direction of Kundrukar, which is the focal point of the Forge of Fury adventure from, I believe, 3rd edition. Here's your regional map. So you are up here in Caverick's Cove on the shoreline right to the far right. You're making for Aurickhold, which if you look down is kind of bottom center left.
Oh, yeah.
You see that winding white road that leads from the lake up into the Rakers, southwest of Caverick's Cove. And then that you could see it wind deeper into that valley in the Rakers, and you see the blue dot deep into the valley along the river. That little blue dot represents Blazing Dell.
Okay.
So I'm going to say you're probably over a 10-day to Aurickhold. All right, we'll just call it an easy 10-day. That's going 20 to 24 miles per day, which is about 3 miles an hour for about 8 hours. It's kind of the typical day-long. You're able to take a small road and cut across to south of the hold of Devonmeek, and then pick up that road that winds down through the freehold of Loagrim, through Heron's Glen, into Aurickhold, a town of maybe 6,000. And you're already up in elevation. You've followed the river, the stony, loud, foamy, kind of white-watery river, Loagrim, down out of the Rakers. By the time you get to Loagrim, you've had a couple of light snowfalls in the evening. You're able to stay at inns if you wish whenever you're in a town. Nothing really noteworthy occurs on your journey to Aurickhold. And what did we say? That was a 10-day. The only thing you note is it seems to be just growing colder. And then especially as you exit the freehold of Loagrim up the river valley, the Loagrim Valley, as you elevate, it grows colder. And the last couple nights into Aurickhold, you awaken under some snow, a couple of inches of snow. And you can see the Rakers to the north and west of your position are all covered in snow at the highest peaks. Very jagged granite, craggy peaks, a lot of canyons, some places along the river where the cliffs are so high on either side of the valley that these beautiful small streams just drop in a horsehair type waterfall down and into a pool that then runs into the Loagrim River. Some wide valley, and then some canyon-like travel as you follow that trade road into the Rakers, and you find yourselves in the town of Aurickhold. You know that this is one of the southernmost, probably the southernmost city in Ratic. There is heraldry of Ratic, along with, like on some signage as you enter the town. It's walled. It's a typical mountain kind of fortress town. There's a keep. Beyond that, there's like a small, what looks to be like maybe a 3-story castle that the lord, the ruler of Oracle, the mayor, whatever, Burgermeister, whatever you want to call him, lives. But it's nothing you wouldn't expect. And you've probably been through here, Baldwin. Now we're up in your, the southern end of the Rakers. You're more from the northern Rakers, but it wouldn't surprise me if Baldwin has been all through here.
Yeah, I've passed through there.
A lot of stone and timber, a lot more rustic dwellings. Nothing here says luxury. It all says frontier, mining, toughness, forestry, lots and lots, especially as you get up away from Heron's Glen, you start into more conifers. So Douglas fir type trees, cedars, balsams, pines, things of that nature. Some oak groves here and there, aspen groves, especially the further north you go, the fewer and fewer deciduous, maples, elms, things of that nature, alders that you see. But yeah, you make it to Auricold, very uneventful journey. You're able to like re-provision your foodstuffs here without any issue. The prices are a little bit more expensive. So you might each lighten your purses by about 10 gold each to provision yourself foodstuffs. And oh, by the way, the ring that you had asked about was far too expensive for you to procure from the Sunshower sisters. So yeah, I looked it up in the DMG and it's 50,000 plus gold. So I think sometimes DMs, present company included, just forget just how rare and expensive and valuable certain items can be. So thanks for pinging me on that. Yeah, so you're going to have probably 2 days, 3 days, 3 days ride up the road into the Lower Grim Valley. Once you leave Auricold, I'm assuming you're not going to spend a lot of time there, long enough to maybe catch a good night's rest in a decent inn, maybe get a little drink on it at a tavern. Any RP or anything you guys wish to do along the way?
I have a question. In Blazingdale, that's not part of Raddick anymore once we get to Blazingdale?
Blazingdale is kind of off on its own.
Okay.
It has its own small militia. If it were to be put upon by some force or something, Auricold could come to their aid. So it's under the protectorate of Raddick. But yeah, it's kind of on its own there. You won't find any garrison of Raddick militia station there.
And how far is it from Oracle to Blazingdale?
It's going to be probably about a 3-day ride. And as you're, as once you make your way out of Auricold, you're catching some snow showers now, more during the day and not just in the colder hours of the evening. And the temp dips well below freezing now at night and barely to freezing during the day. As you are you're in a valley, but you're up in the mountains. You're probably a good 4,000 feet above, where Caverick's Cove is elevated at the seashore.
And we're still in woods. Meaning
this is very dense, evergreen conifers, dense right to the side of the road, unless maybe there's a clearing where perhaps is set up for like a caravan to camp. You see some of that. There are caves, cracks, crags up in the cliff faces high above you. Sometimes the road and the river are really all that's there. And then sometimes it widens out and there's a little bit of a valley floor, even where maybe you see like a small herd of sheep here and there grazing and probably from some local small farmer that has a homestead off the road here. And you see, trails and smaller, like wagon roads and things off of this trade road that's going basically winding its way west up deeper in the valley. But the further you go this first day, the less frequent are the little crossroads and signs of civilization. and it's just cold and lonely. Do you, when you're on the road, do you wish to establish a riding order? Now that
I
you've
think
kind
we
of
probably
exited the...
ride next to Baldwin because he wants to talk to Baldwin about some stuff along the way at some point.
Okay. You guys want to be up front or in the back, or?
Sure, we can be up front.
Yeah, we'll go fine.
I want
Okay.
to be in the safest spot possible.
Caverick's Cove.
Yes, I'll be in Caverick's Cove.
Blarg, do you want to be behind them
Highly
then?
recommend it.
Sure, I'll be behind them.
Who's behind
Oh.
Blarg?
If they're in taking the front, then Aridef can take the back.
Okay,
Okay,
so
and then-
Daryl, you can be behind Blarg,
Sounds good.
and then
Perfect.
Arideth behind.
Yep.
I always kind of like to establish kind of riding order or marching order just in general. If you wish to change that up, just let me know. So the road itself is pretty stony. You can see in places where it's less hard scrabble and more earth, where there's, wagon ruts and the pock marks of mule tracks or hoof tracks here and there. So it looks like it's a traveled road, but the further you get away from Aracold and away from the crossroads and the little, branches off, the less you see signs of travel on the trade road. Probably very specifically limited to folks coming, west across the Rakers, or coming east across the Rakers, from or through Blazingdale toward Oracold and back. But yeah, the further west you go this first day, desolation sets in, by midday out of Oracold. It's basically you, the river, which is a very noisy, rocky, stony river. You're gradually going up in elevation. I wouldn't say it feels like a climb. You see, occasionally you'll maybe hear that hoarse baying of the elk in the rut from maybe some cliff or some grove of trees in the distance. Maybe you catch a glimpse of a few of them. You'll see lots of crows, jays, squirrels, rabbits, the typical flora and fauna. But again, the forest on either side of the river, around the road, sometimes the river is obscured visually because there's thick copses of trees. You can almost always hear the river because the road follows it pretty closely. And the river is like, you could not really sail down it in any manner of craft. There's a lot of deep pools here and there. Like, it would be treacherous to cross because there is a decent volume of water moving through it. It's foamy and white and noisy and rocky, and probably bone chilling cold. And you reach supper time the first day out of Aracold. Do you have any manner of, how are you handling group awareness as the party goes?
I was actually going to say, when I got a chance, that as we're getting further from civilization, I'm just going to be as on guard as I can be, just periodically checking behind us.
Okay. So
Watching out to make sure that those crows don't form this unnaturally large group like, the last encounter we had.
Oh, sure. I got you.
And I was going to say, as we were leaving getting into a more uncivilized area, rural area, Blarg was going to look around at, based on your description of the mountains, and say to no one in particular, but out loud, "Wow, this reminds me of home in the Griff Mountains. We should probably watch out for goblin ambushes."
Always.
Nice. Let's do this. Let me get each of your passive perceptions, and we'll say that the act of being watchful will utilize your passive perception.
13.
That way we don't have to do that corny sort of roll for perception. Nothing like cueing the party when shit's going to happen.
Blarg's is an 11.
12. Yeah, and Baldwin's is 12.
12 for Daryl.
What was that, Daryl?
12. Oh, my, 12.
Heb?
11.
Okay. Since you're all wishing to be alert, I'm going to add 2 to everybody's passive perception. I think that's kind of just a general alertness, head on a swivel, so to speak. So you pass midday. You pass a couple of, there'd be like a group of dwarves with some ore in a cart pulled by a mule, making their way in your direction. They pass by, unless you want to talk to them, but, they just, greeting, hey, and make their way by. But other than that, man, it's been a very quiet first day.
Well, actually, it hasn't been that quiet because Hebney's been talking Baldwin's ear off pretty much most of the day as they're riding together up front, asking just a bunch of questions about the distillery, like what his plans are, if he's going to need any sort of like customized work done on the equipment, insinuating that Hebney could help him out with that and would like to, be useful if that would be helpful to the project, and just sort of asking him a lot of questions about that. But what he really wants to get at is that he picked up on the pensiveness of Baldwin in response to the story of the fall of Kundrachar. And so he asks Baldwin if you know that story, if you know those people, and are those kin of yours, and do you know anything of this place?
They're distant kin, and I don't have any firsthand knowledge, but it is a story that we were told in my homeland when we were growing up. So I have sort of a cultural upset because of the situation.
I can relate to that a little bit, my friend, because my people were decimated by orcs in the Flinty Hills, and it's a terrible business. So if you ever, I don't know, how does this work? If you ever want to talk about it, let me know. Okay, let's talk about distillation again.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely going to need equipment. I'm going to need stills. I'm going to need, mash barrels. I mean, there's the whole thing. I mean, some of it is things that we can acquire. Some of it are things that we'll have to have tinkered.
I can fabricate things for you. I'd be happy to help.
Great. It sounds like, there's 3 different, proprietors in town who want to be involved with the distribution, both locally and regionally. So I think many can benefit from this. Plus,
and you're gonna
pretty fine tasting, vodka.
What I was about to say. Happy to help with the taste testing.
And Blarg's going to butt in because he's behind and bored, and he's going to say, and I can model for the bottle if you want. You can make the bottle like my likeness. I think that'd be a big seller. It'd be exotic.
That's interesting.
Yeah, don't reject it out of hand. Think about it.
We'll talk. We'll talk.
Because I'm a pretty good-looking goblin as far as goblins go.
Well, as far as goblins go, I mean, I did mistake you for a gnome, so.
Yeah, well, that, you might want to get some glasses because, but I'm a pretty good looking goblin, and I think that'd be pretty exotic. If you're trying to reach markets like Greyhawk, the free city of Greyhawk, you model your bottle after a goblin. I mean, you might as well be minting your own gold coins.
Printing your own gold coins. There you go.
I was going to say printing your own money, but I guess they don't have that.
They don't have money. They got that's right.
Just think about it.
It's definitely on my mind.
Yeah, that's you're a smart businessman. I can tell that.
Still sounds like Tito's vodka.
Well, yeah, and we can bank on that, to get it going. Small craft,
Well, it
yuppie.
sounds like we might all come out of this fairly wealthy, so we'd have plenty of money to invest in such an endeavor, Baldwin, if you're looking for investors.
Yes, I probably will be. That's why I initially approached the barkeep, because I don't have the funds to start this endeavor up right now. But, with a partner or two or three, we could get rolling pretty quick.
As you're talking, riding along, it begins to snow. First spitting, little breeze out in your faces out of the west, coming right down the valley into your faces. And that breeze has been fairly constant since you've entered the Lower Grim Valley. Like this is kind of the prevailing wind, but it adds an extra special delight when it's got snow upon it. And within a half hour, it's snowing fairly heavily, kind of in your face, not quite sideways, but definitely coming down at an angle, buffeted by the wind. And the shadows grow longer as you reach nightfall, which does come probably an hour earlier, just because of the fact that you're traveling along the floor of a valley between, two sections of the Raker mountain range. So the sun is obscured by the peaks on each side. Sometimes you'll catch a weird angle where it'll come right eastward up the valley in the morning, or westward in your eyes. But right now the sun is sinking, more in the southern hemisphere, and it's blocked by the southern arm of the Rakers. So, by 7 p.m. it's getting dark, and it's sort of approaching that now. Very, very dim twilight, gray, low cloud cover, low ceiling. A lot of the peaks aren't even visible as this snow kind of works its way in on top of you guys as you're riding along.
Well, we should be keeping an eye out for a good place to set up a camp for the night.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Okay. Anybody who wishes could use survival to look for suitable, maybe describe for me what you're looking for. What in your mind makes for a suitable camp?
Any kind of a little grove, trees might provide some, shelter from all the snow and the wind.
Okay.
Maybe one with a tower in it. That'd be nice.
Maybe a
Nice
Marriott.
inn.
A Marriott,
Someplace.
perhaps?
Has forage, and dry wood for a fire and whatnot.
Well,
Where
22.
you can make a fire without burning the whole area down.
Sure, yeah. So, Arideth, as the party kind of calls to a halt and you begin looking around the area for, excuse me, for a place to camp for the night. You do see there's trees on both sides of the road at this point. The river is off to your right, which is sort of the north of you. You can hear it, but you can't see it for the trees. And there is you're in the midst of a pretty good stand of trees. The walls of the valley, you're probably, if you went from, wall to wall where it becomes vertical, is probably a half mile across. It's a wide area right here, which is what's made the wind rather unpleasant when you come out of the trees. But you're in some pretty dense thicket of conifers. There's some standing dead wood that you could easily hack down and chop up for firewood. And you can easily find yourself a place. There's lots of duff that you could use to kind of get yourselves hunkered down. And it's already snowed about 3 inches since it started, spitting late this afternoon. In the last couple of hours, it's been coming down pretty good. And it feels like maybe about 20 degrees, and then the wind, drops that another 10. So, you're getting close to single digits, pretty chilly as you find a decent place to make camp.
Well, let's make camp. Get a fire going.
All right.
Yep.
Give me anybody again who's good at survival. Give me a survival roll. I'm going to give you a DC 12 to make fire. You can assist one another if you wish to roll with advantage, but it's not like a trip through the state park on a 70-degree breezy day with sunny skies kind of fire making situation, which would be
Baldwin
like
got
DC 0.
Baldwin got an 18.
Okay.
I'll help somebody.
Very good. So your tinder and flint is plenty dry. You're able to gather duff and limbs that are down. It looks like maybe there's been a bit of stormy weather up in here. You see a few, like trees are tipped and leaned into other trees. Some dead wood is down, kind of recent. There's limbs and such. But yeah, you're able to gather. You have to knock some snow off of it, but with your tinder and flint, Baldwin, you're able to get a nice little fire going. And then as you add to it, the wood kind of dries out as it's on the fire. It is dark now, and by dark I mean like freaking dark. You're a full day's ride out of Oracold, so you're a good 20 miles up the valley. So the blinding torchlight, light pollution from Oracold is far in your rearview mirror. But you have a nice cheery fire, and you've managed to, ration your ale and your spirits that you've brought along with you. And it's, aside from the fact that it's pretty breezy and snowy, the fact that you found a place to camp in the dense conifer forest does kind of help with the windbreak. But the snow does continue to fall. It's just not like blowing in your face like it was on the open road. And so you all can thank Eridith for finding a nice... You have him to thank. You don't have to thank him, but you do have him to thank.
Thanks, Erideth.
Thanks for the fire, Baldwin.
Thanks, Eridith. All right, so you guys going to do like supper and all that stuff?
Yeah.
Yep. And Baldwin will take the first watch.
Okay.
And I brought in my gear I have like an animal trap. I'm gonna set that out. Maybe we can catch Bob's rabbit for breakfast or something.
Hey, watch it. It's part of the family.
Well, I think one of the things we're going to need to think about is what we do when we get to Blazingdale.
Yeah.
How are we going to find this place? We have to be careful.
We need a backstory. Okay, obviously we're looking for what is it? It's the stone spike. What do we call it?
The stone tooth.
Let's tell people that we're a boy band and the wizard is our manager.
Okay.
We have instruments.
Well, no, I mean we're a cappella.
Of course.
Like a barbershop quartet.
We could be that.
We just have to be careful who we talk to, because I believe that the agents of the Scarlet Brotherhood and other ne'er-do-wells may be around.
All the way up here, you think?
I think they're everywhere.
So a reason to go to the stone tooth that doesn't allude to, any ancient, civilizations or treasure. That's what we need.
Tourists.
Well, no, you know what we could, well, I guess what's the value of there? It could be, we could be looking for new places to mine.
Prospectors
Potentially, that might be a reason for us to be there.
We could be looking for wild herbs that grow only in the area as potential, ingredients for my vodka.
Do you know of any particular herbs that we'd be looking for?
No, I'm just spitballing here.
I do like the prospector bit.
That's awfully close to the real reason we're going, though. We're looking for an ancient mine.
That's
true. The beauty of it. It's close, but not exact.
I don't think that's the beauty of it.
Well, except for the tall one here, we do fit the bill in terms of what we look like.
Yeah.
Hi ho, and all that.
Yeah.
I guess the reason it would be tough to play us out as a boy band is saying that why we want to go to find a tracker to bring us to an ancient mine, but
well, that's just details.
That's true, but it could be a reason why we're actually physically there. So probably the reason why we're actually in Blazingdale, it doesn't, and we just need to be able to have a good reason to be there, not anywhere else. Meaning that in that town, and then from there we can then figure out how to manage to get out of there. So we don't necessarily have to have a reason to be in the area around Blazingdale. We just need to be the reason to be there. I mean, honestly, that the reason why people are there, I like the idea of, you know what, it could be that we're trying to find a new location to set up a new bar to sell the vodka, or a new distillery.
Maybe we can just find someone who will accept some money to lead us there. Yeah.
Well, I think that's our goal, is to pay someone to be able to bring us there.
Yeah.
Pay a tracker to be able to bring us there. We got to pay him enough money to keep him quiet.
Yeah.
Either that or Baldwin can or Aerith can permanently quiet them after we're done.
I've got a question for you, Baldwin. In your tales of the loss of Kundrakar, were there any survivors, perhaps? Any likelihood that there could be dwarven allies who descend, perhaps, from that stronghold, from that community that might be persuaded to help us?
Well, I mean, there's always, legends of people who made it out, of dwarves who made it out, but I don't know of any particular strong leads in that regard.
Might be something to at least keep our eyes out for when we're in Blazingdale.
As I understand the legend, the dwarves were driven out by orcs, right?
Aye.
Well, orcs aren't. I mean, they're not. They're kind of tough, but they're not real smart. Maybe we can figure a way in, other than the front door.
We could do that. It's not a bad idea. We could also, the other thing to think about before we go to bed and sleep is those of us that can prepare magic might want to think about how we might be able to use our spells to persuade people in Blazingdale to help us. And I don't know if anyone has a charm person or some type of magic that might be able to help us or assist us. So it might be something to think about prior to waking up in the morning, that when we sleep, that this evening might be able to think about our preparations for our magic.
Yeah, and that's okay. You mentioned silencing someone permanently, and I think you're joking. But in the event you're not joking, we're not going to do that. That's not
what we're going to do.
No.
But at some level, at least that Daryl wouldn't do that. In terms of finding, though, someone that would be able to help us, would need to at least be able to persuade them.
Yeah, well, your boy Blarg's pretty persuasive when he wants to be.
As a linguist.
while they're talking, I'm going to hold up my hand and just start looking off to the east.
Roll perception. Who amongst us has dark vision?
Your
Baldwin
boy
does.
Blarg does.
I does, and I rolled a 14.
That's everybody, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think so.
Yeah, so you peer through the tree trunks to the east, which is sort of to the back, the party's back, the direction you came from, and you swear through the snowfall, maybe 20 feet or so away, you see a rather large, like human and a half tall, big, thick, hulking, long-armed thing sort of picking its way slowly through the trees, kind of sneaking up on the group.
Oh,
I'm going to have my bow out, and I'm going to go. Does everyone see that?
Yes.
If you guys want to roll perception.
I rolled a 14.
Yeah, no, I got you.
Oh, okay.
That's what Arideth sees.
Oh, sorry.
I got a 20.
Baldwin got 12.
3 total.
Daryl, how'd you do on your perception?
I got the same as Dave, 3.
Okay, so Blarg and Baldwin, as Arideth kind of signals over his shoulder behind him to the east, you kind of quietly turn and look, and you do see what appears to be a giant of some sort, rather large, like a human and a half tall, thick, long-limbed. Hard to make out details with the snow and the dim, the grayscale that you're looking through with your dark vision. But it definitely appears to be sneaking up on the party from the east as you sit and talk.
Oh, crap. My people don't have much luck with giants.
Giants. Oh shit.
So what do you guys want to do?
How far away is it?
Probably about 20 feet away, and it's kind of moving
Oh,
from tree to tree slowly, lethargically, sneakily. Because you guys have been
Grab his
sly,
hammer
it
and
appears
stand
that
up.
it doesn't believe that it's been seen. Because it looks like it's still kind of stealthing towards you.
I like to prepare my sling.
Okay.
That's a great weapon against a giant. That's smart.
Hey, have you ever seen the story of David and Goliath?
We're gonna go all biblical on
Okay, let's do this. Let's roll initiative.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, what am I doing? I don't even know.
Baldwin got a 4.
Initiative is a D20.
Got an 18.
All right, so 25 to 20. 20 to 15.
I'll be the last one.
Got an 18.
8
Daryl
total
got
for
a
Hebney
17.
as well.
Hebney and Arideth tied at 18. Hebney, what's your dex? Arideth, what's your dex?
18.
Hebney, what's your dexterity, buddy?
14.
All right, so Arideth will break the tie on that one. Did I hear somebody say 17? Is that you, Daryl?
Yep.
What's your dex?
Dex is 13.
Okay. Oh, I did that wrong. Okay, 15 to 10.
Blarg got a 12.
Ten to 5. Wow. 5 to 0.
Yeah, I got a 4.
Okay. Arideth, you are first to go.
So it appears that thinks it's being all sneaky.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to. I think I will hold my attack, but I'm going to just I'm just going to call out in, I don't speak giant, which would be handy. I'll call out in common. We know you're there.
It kind of stops and freezes.
And I'll just be staring right at it.
Okay. And it's looking at the camp. Okay, so you're holding an attack action?
I'm holding my attack.
Okay. Hebney, you're next to go.
Hebney, how far away is this thing from us
About
right now?
20 feet.
Okay. Hebney is going to move away from the fire into the darkness and attempt to hide. And if possible, he is also going to ready an attack action with his hammer. If the creature continues forward, he will smack him with the hammer.
Okay. Yeah, and he's kind of half behind a tree, which for a very large creature like this thing, it's thick and wide, and it's probably 10 feet, 11 feet tall. Pretty good sized thing. And it's kind of behind a tree. I mean, that would afford it some cover, but yeah. So it stands there and kind of freezes at the sound of Erideth's voice. So, Hebney, you've hidden, and you are holding an attack action. Daryl, what do you do?
Daryl is going to, and he's about 30 feet.
20.
20 feet. Okay. Daryl's going to cast blindness, deafness on him.
Okay. What saving throw is that?
Con at 12.
Oh, sweet. Con, you say?
Yeah.
Okay, that's a dirty 20.
Okay.
So you have the distinct feeling, because it's peering right at you, that it probably didn't work.
Yep.
Like the thing didn't really react like you would have expected it to.
Okay.
And that was an action. Is there any movement or bonus action? I assume that was an action.
Yeah, it was. I think he'll Daryl will move 25 feet away. So now he's like 40, 45 feet away in the direction.
Go ahead, sorry. Finish what you were saying.
I was going to say in the direction that Hebney went.
Okay. So what I heard you say is you're going to draw movement and attention in the direction of your hidden friend. Did I get that right? Okay, yeah.
Hebney, is Hebney hidden?
Hebney hid. He vanished into the darkness.
Oh, got it. Okay, so I won't.
Which direction did you go, Hebney? And all he did was step outside the fire-ish, which is hard to do because fire's like 40 feet, but, I get what you're doing in a shadow behind a tree.
Sure. Yeah, Hebney would still want to be within striking distance of the creature if it lurches forward.
Okay.
That's what's going to trigger his attack.
So you're going to either throw your hammer or hit him melee if he's close enough. So you're just basically stepping out and getting behind a tree in the shadow.
Yeah.
Okay. He's about 20 feet. He's about 20 feet east of your fire.
The
thing, yeah.
Yeah. So Daryl will just move in the exact opposite direction, 25 feet.
Okay. Roll perception as you're sneaking off. Are you going to try to stealth or anything? Or are you kind of like, fuck this, I'm out?
No, I'm just trying to create distance because I've got enough things that I can do from a distance to this guy that I don't want to be, at this point, close enough until I can see what it actually is.
Okay. Roll me perception as you're moving through the woods to the west.
Yep.
And just keep this in the theater of the mind.
It's like D&D Beyond's killing me. 3.
Okay, yeah. So you're just, moving away. Very good.
You have to hold a real die while you're pushing the buttons.
Oh, there you go. There you go. So you're 25 feet west
of the fire. Yeah.
Okay.
which is now 45 feet away from the thing.
Yep. Fires the center of our clock face.
Yep.
East 20 feet is the big giant dude.
Yep.
Aerodeth, Baldwin, and Blarg are still right around the fire. Hebney is about 5 feet north, just in the shadows, hidden. Okay. This thing starts to sneak forward. And Aerodeth and Blarg and Baldwin, you guys all saw it. You see it raise its hand and kind of do this.
Uh-oh.
Oh, you can't see what I'm doing, but kind of do this like it's motioning to something that it can see or knows it's out there. And it moves towards you to attack you guys. And I think what I'll do is I'm going to... So he's walking with purpose toward the campfire. Not even trying to be stealthy. Crunch, crunch through the snow. Yeah, so I'm guessing, is that going to trigger some actions from Aerodeth and Hebney?
He looks like he wants an arrow.
Okay, so let's resolve those. How close in do you want to wait till he gets? Or are you going to fire as soon as he heads towards you?
How far? He's within 150 feet?
Oh, yeah.
It was 20 feet.
Oh, well, why wait? If he wants the arrow, I'm just going to give it to him now.
Okay.
With a 18 to hit.
That'll hit. He's not really wearing any armor. He's covered in hides. He's kind of as he gets closer, he's got this matted, kind of dreaded, stringy, clumpy hair. His arms are incredibly long and clawed. They're disproportionately long, and his skin looks kind of greenish, gray, like mossy, scaly colored. What kind of arrow damage do we have there?
5 piercing plus 3 necrotic.
All right, very good. Okay. Yeah, so you plunk an arrow into his leg, and he kind of and walks more quickly towards you, if anything. Heb, what are you doing, man?
I'll wait till he gets within range. I'm going to jump out of the shadows and club him with my warhammer, two-handed.
Okay. I'm going to let you do that since you were holding that action before he gets to take his action, and he's going to step into the fire ring. Baldwin, you're kind of like, holy shit, when you see this thing. Go ahead and roll your attack.
All right, I'm going to use one of my advantages on this one. Ooh, that's going to be a 24 to hit.
That is a hit.
16 magical bludgeoning damage.
16 magical
his head.
bludgeoning. Okay, crunch goes the skull. And you hear that crack, that sound you enjoy so much as your steel hammer finds purchase.
I'm just going to give him that fake smile that I've been practicing.
Nice, nice. And he just roars in spittle, and he tries to bite you.
Ooh, bite.
That is a 13.
That will miss.
Okay. He's going to claw at the sticky arrow person.
He got all the way to the fire already?
Yeah, he moves 30.
Oh,
It's his turn. He's taking his full motion. You shot him on his way.
Attack. That's pretty harsh.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
19 and 14.
19 hits.
All right.
It's a real deal, Bob.
13.
He's the real deal. He's the real deal.
13
Whatever he
slashy
might
slash.
Sticky and green.
Enoch
Okay.
Pratt, you have a Zoom message awaiting your attention.
Okay, yeah, I see it.
Okay. That is its turn. Blarg, there is a large, scaly, mossy, greenish gray, covered in hides, barefooted, clawed, disproportionately long-armed, 10 to 11 foot tall, pissed off thing in your midst with an arrow sticking out of it and a rather painful-looking bruise forming on its forehead from the gnome.
Well, so Blarg, as a student of history, is going to start sweating. He's sweating a lot because he's pretty nervous about this. And the first thing he's going to do is bonus action his sword. And against his better judgment, he's going to reach out to attack the giant.
With his new fancy studded leather armor.
Yes. Which I'm
And
sure
and his cloak of displacement,
That's right. And his cloak of display.
which on the 11th day of the journey has fully attuned.
I'm sure will save his life.
Yeah.
All right.
Prolong it, maybe.
Maybe. So I got a 9.
9 to hit.
Yep.
Sadly, that is insufficient.
Does a +2 help me?
It is still insufficient.
Okay, then I'm not going to
Yeah.
use that.
That would be a not even close type of
Okay.
a situation.
All right. Well. All right, so that was my action and my bonus action. Is there anything else I can do? I don't think so. So I think that's all I'm going to do.
All right. Baldwin O'Farrell, it is your turn.
So Baldwin says, "Be sharp, boys. That be a troll." And he's going to run over to the fire and he's going to snatch up a brand of wood with fire, and he's going to attack the troll with a flaming club.
All right. And actually, I mean, that's improvised weapon, but I'd say that's as clubby a club as a club could be. So, and I'm sure that you're proficient with clubs. So, wail away. Do your best.
All right. And I'm gonna use my +2 on this one. That's a 17 +2 is 19.
Yeah, that's a hit with a 17, so you are not charged the use of a +2. You only have to use them if you need them.
Nice.
You scored a hit, so yeah.
What kind of damage am I looking to do here?
I think let's check, but I believe a club is a D6.
Yeah, and then I can add +1 for my strength.
Yep. So D6 plus 1.
Total of 5. Does the fire
I'm going to give you a D4.
on the fire?
Yep.
All right. That's 4.
Nice. All right, so you've burned this troll. Hey, Agora Quest, thanks for the sub, man. Appreciate that very much. Welcome to the, excuse me, Wily Hobbit family of Dungeons and Dragons. We're playing in Greyhawk. We're deep in the Raddock Mountains, and the party has been attacked by a troll who is apparently not in a good mood because he's been shot with an arrow, hit with a hammer, and beaten with a flaming branch club, thus nullifying its ability to regenerate at the start of its next turn. Cranky ass troll. We're starting the Forge of Fury module. We're on our way to the beginning of that. All right. That brings us to the bottom of the initiative. I'm going to have you roll Perception, Daryl. And I'm going to have you add +4 to that.
Okay.
You don't want to get in a bad feeling there's more than one.
Oh my God. 6 plus what? 4?
Yeah.
10. And if I add 2, can I add a 2?
You don't need to.
Okay.
Right beside you, you see a
It
second.
was just standing there the whole time.
A second one of these. He was stealthed, and he rolled like a 3 or something perception, so he ran right by it, like right to it, because it was due west of the campfire, and it's going to try to do bad things to you. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All
Hey,
right.
no. I got to
So-
tip my hat to these trolls. They were pretty stealthy.
Yeah, one was. The other one was not. How does a 22 look for a hit?
That hits.
Is that going to do it?
Yep.
Yeah, so it roars and looks down at you and bites you on the shoulder for 6 piercing damage.
Okay.
And then it's going to attempt to claw you. Does a 9 hit?
No.
How about 9 plus 7? What is that, 16?
No.
Well, shit. So he takes 2 big lumbering swipes, and apparently you're just a little too short, or you could kind of dodge a little bit, and he misses, and Do you speak giant?
I don't think so.
I know someone who does.
I don't.
Blarg, do
don't.
you speak giant?
I sure do.
You hear fucking dwarves.
Oh, well, that's just nasty.
That's cheery. Yeah. Okay, so that was Troll 2. Arideth, it is your turn. You are in melee with an unhappy troll.
That's a shame.
Are they ever really happy, though?
Which is less good than a happy troll. You know.
This is true. Would do more. What would do more? What would do more? Well, they don't like fire.
The fireball would be handy right now.
Yeah, too bad I'm not a wizard. But what I can do is extend my. Let's see. There's two of them. What can I do? All right. Do I hear the? Do I hear the rawr, the other one? I assume.
Oh yeah. He's only 20 feet to the west. Conveniently, right where Daryl is.
Conveniently. Okay. Well, since I've got some stuff I can do here, that's.
You got some stuff you can do? You thinking about doing that today?
Yeah, okay.
Sweet.
Wow.
It's like playing with a wizard because it takes them forever to go.
I was trying to find it. There it is. Okay.
Found it.
I'm going to.
That's awesome.
I'm going to put my hand out to the one in front of me, and I'm going to firebolt him because I'm not a wizard.
Perfect.
With a natural 20.
Okay, we know how that works. Nat 20, that's a crit, so full damage plus modifiers, and then re-roll any damage die, no modifiers, and add those numbers together.
Okay, so
because we like our critical hits to
D&D
do
Beyond
things.
does it differently, so I'm just I will
just math it
so
out.
He gets 10. Ignore this roll because it's so I do 10 plus 16 total fire damage to his face.
16 fire damage to his face specifically?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
yes.
Because he's right in front of me.
Yeah, and he roars, ah! And Blarg, you hear a fucking elf. As you ignite some of his hair and his skin peels back as you hear the sizzle of flesh burning as your firebolt finds purchase.
I really trying to make me feel bad. I don't.
Okay.
And then what I was trying to find on here was I'm going to take my action surge, and I will take a little spin, and I will shoot an arrow at Daryl's friend.
Ah, very nice.
So click that off. I will do this. Give me a big number. About a dirty 20.
That'll work.
But this one's a special one. This is the grasping arrow. So first, I roll damage.
Arcane Archer, great class.
I love Arcane Archer. That is 7 piercing. Let's also give him, 1 necrotic. So that's 8. But then with the grasping arrow, he takes an extra 2d6 poison damage. So have some poison. Ooh, double 6s. That was nice.
12 poisons?
12.
Nice.
12 poisons.
Okay.
And every time he tries to move more than 1 foot, he will take slashing damage for the next minute.
Nice.
So at the start of each turn, if he tries to move, he takes slashing damage. Unless he wants to take an athletics check to break out of the brambles that have just appeared and wrapped around him and poking him.
Yeah, and he howls in pain as the burn from the poison courses into his veins and the bite of the arrow, and then all the brambles kind of affix themselves to his flesh. Nice turn. Nice job. Anything else, Arideth?
Let's see. If I move away, he'll get an opportunity attack on me, won't he?
Yes, I think you should.
I don't think he should, but I'm just saying he probably will. So I think.
No, I think you should definitely move away. Yeah.
So that he gets his opportunity attack.
Yes. Now you're putting it together.
Maybe someone else will tick him off more than me, and he'll attack them instead. So.
Hey Scott, can I ask a question?
You can ask.
Can I still make my a reaction
Sure.
to what had occurred to me?
Yes, you
No,
can.
so I am going to use my Wrath of Storm. So when a creature within 5 feet, which I think this guy is within 5 feet,
100%. Yep.
hits me with an attack, I can use my reaction to cause the creature to make a Dex saving throw DC 12.
Okay. He's going to do that. And that is a natty 1, also known as fail.
So he'll take 2d8 lightning damage.
Nice.
And
Hell yeah.
Hey, there's our lightning you needed.
Yeah,
Or he could lightning himself.
lean into that.
So you see, Daryl, I want you to describe for us what this looks like when you call upon this lightning in the middle of this. We're going to get some thunder snow, boys.
okay. So Daryl, after he from behind this green troll basically lays into him, he whips around and raises his hand and basically call up to the sky, almost like Thor with his hammer, peeling the thunder or lightning from the clouds above and basically throwing it down onto the troll.
Nice. How much damage did you do?
7 points.
Nice. Okay, so a little delayed reaction action. Slick. All right, we just had wrapped up Aerodeth, and we were about to start Hebony's turn. Hebony, you're in melee with a much taller than you troll who has taken some damage and who is wearing smoldering, partially flaming hides as the result of not only a flaming stick beating from Baldwin the Dwarf, but also from a firebolt to the facial region from the Shadarkai.
And he still stands.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that makes me really, really mad. So I'm going to bonus action Rage. And because I've got that beautiful Wild Magic Barbarian, I'm going to go ahead and roll for my Wild Magic Surge.
Nice.
Rolled a 12.
So much flavor in this party.
Sorry, that's a D8. That's a D8, not a D12. It's a 7. Okay. Flowers and vines temporarily grow around me. Until my rage ends, the ground within 15 feet of me is difficult terrain for my enemies.
Okay. So the troll's movement would be half?
Yeah, exactly. Because of vines and flowers.
Okay, so you see sprouting up around the
petunias.
gnome, you just see him staring at the troll, gritting his teeth, shaking, and then all of a sudden these vines kind of sprout around, a couple wrap around one of the troll's legs, and flowers sprout out of the vine, and the troll looks down, confused. Do your thing, man.
I'm going to give him that fake smile again, and I'm going to roll to hit him again with my hammer. I'm going to shoot for the knees this time. I want to drop him. I'm going to use my advantage. I have one left, so this is the last one. Natural 20. So that's
Okay.
good.
So max damage plus mods, and then re-roll your damage.
Max damage.
No mods on the second roll, on this when
Max
you roll it.
damage plus mods. is
Including
gonna be
mods, yep.
18. And
18
then this
bludgeon.
one is going to be a 10. So 28 damage total.
Wow.
Oh,
That's magical bludgeoning. With the knees.
this dude's looking rough. I mean, and you hear the pop of one knee, and you can see it kind of start to dislocate as you put all your might into the swing of your hammer. And it just howls and tries to grab his knee and looks at you with absolute malice. Kind of shakes you right to your core, but he flashed him the fake smile. Anything else?
Nope. Standing my ground.
Nice. Fierce. Okay. Daryl Nimblebottom, Hobbit Dwarf, Storm Warrior, Cleric of Vilnius. It is your turn.
So what just happened was his right hand went up to the sky to pull down the lightning, and at the same time he's going to take his left hand and basically kind of grab him in the stomach. So his right hand comes down, throws lightning, comes up with the left hand right into his stomach, and casts inflict wounds onto him.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's going to feel good.
And we're going to do that at second level.
Okay. And that's just an attack roll, right?
It is. And that is That is a natural 20. So
Ooh.
Hell
24.
Wow, crit
Wow, we're
town.
rolling great.
So
this
max
round.
damage,
Yes.
and then you re-roll any damage die.
So this can't be right. This says it can't be right.
Well,
Well,
D&D Beyond is going to
Beyond-
calculate its own way of doing crit, so you got to math it out. So
Yeah,
what's
because it says 8d10.
Because with D&D
Is that-
Beyond rules, it does double damage. So you
Oh,
just
got it.
I just
All
I,
right,
that's
cool.
why I just did like a roll I ignored.
do max damage and then do die
I'm
rolls?
with- I'm
Yeah.
with- So it's 4d10.
Okay, so that's
Uh,
40.
Right.
Do you get a spell bonus added to that also?
I don't think so.
Okay.
No, I don't.
Okay.
Um,
So
yeah.
40. Then roll 4d10 again. Just do a straight roll.
Got it. Let me do that d10. 40.
Oh, you did it at second level, I see. Yep. Yeah, there is no spell bonus. Necrotic. So 40. Owie, you guys.
That's another 22.
Wow.
So 62 total.
Describe for me how this dude ends.
Wow.
So he basically, as this is all occurring, lightning coming down, left hand to his abdomen. Basically, his hand almost melts into him because of how much necrotic damage is done. And basically, the entire midsection of his body just melts away,
Yeah.
and he drops down.
Wow. I mean, you just basically, in a reaction and 2 attacks by yourself. Well, we had one helping arrow, grasping arrow.
One helping hero.
Yeah, which is a major arrow. Wow. Yeah. Okay, so down he goes, thundering to the ground, crash, and a big, half-dissolved, necrotic, disgusting cesspool of thing used to be known as troll. Anything else you'd like to do while you're killing trolls in one shot?
Nope. I think I'm okay at this point. Nothing else.
Excellent. It is Troll 1's turn. It's going to look at Hebney, who just inflicted a shitload of damage to it. And his eyes are, wide and very fearful. And he's going to turn and run.
Oh, I'm in melee with
He's
it.
out of there. So I've got Baldwin, Blarg, Erideth, and Hebney with attacks of opportunity. So here's what we're going to do. Everybody, each one of you guys roll a d20.
A D.
13.
Baldwin has 13.
4.
Erideth has 4.
I got a 1.
Blarg has 1. And Hebney's
18.
muted. 18. Okay, Blarg, lowest gets to go first. So
Yay.
Blarg, Erideth, Baldwin, Hebney. Blarg, make your attack of opportunity as this guy turns and runs.
So I got a 17.
To hit, that's a hit.
So he takes 5 piercing, but then he takes he takes 5 acid, and then
Ooh,
I get my
that's
sneak.
good.
I get my sneak attack, don't I?
Yeah, you've got people
'cause I got
within 5
people-
feet. Yeah, you
yeah.
got allies all around.
All right, so now I got to find what my another
And
2d6.
acid is also nice against trolls.
Yes, and I got 3 sneak attacks, so that was 13 total.
Nice. Okay, describe for me how he goes down. 'Cause
Yeah.
you got him with the before the sneak attack.
Well, as he turns around, Blard reaches out with his short sword and drives it through the back of his good leg, his calf, and just drives it straight through. And you can hear the acid hissing and spitting, and the troll collapses.
Yeah, and he just howls and goes down and bleeding from arrow wounds and blasted knee from the hammer shot from Hebney, and now the stab. He's been beat with a flaming stick. Did not end well for either of these fellows. And it all grows quiet as 2 of these trolls are down.
Those were some pretty foul-mouthed trolls.
Language.
Baldwin is going to make sure that they are both like super on fire.
Oh yeah.
Okay, yeah. So Baldwin's going to burn the corpse. Not too hard to do, given that they're wrapped in hides and stuff. You know, you can get that. I mean, one of them's sort of smoldering already. But yeah, you can ensure that they're dead. Troll number 2 didn't get to regenerate. Neither of them did because of the way the damage was inflicted. And Troll 2, it would happen so quickly that so much damage was done that it didn't matter. Owie. Okay, so now you have 2 flaming trolls. One is kind of close to your fire. The other one is, over by Daryl.
Well, now we have, three campfires.
You do kind of have 3 campfires, yeah. The woods is ablaze with flaming, crackling trolls and fire. Yeah.
That went well.
Very well, yeah.
Not for them.
Daryl, are you injured?
Just a bit, but probably something I could take care of myself. And so Daryl will he'll cast Cure Light Wounds on him.
Okay.
Nice. So do that, and
D8 plus your spell bonus. Yep.
Yep. So it gets back up to the max, which is 42.
Nice.
So,
that went really well for you guys. Would you get 3 crits?
yeah.
I did score a couple hits, but yeah, that went really well. Okay, what do you guys do? It's snowing.
Scott, did we end up with 2 healing potions each?
Yeah.
Is that right? Okay.
Yeah, make sure you add those to your sheet. And any other gear, between sessions that list, make sure that all gets added to the appropriate sheets.
Okay.
So what do you guys do? You're muted, Irideth.
Those were potions of greater healing, right?
Those are potions of healing.
Worth a shot.
Always trying to work it.
Always.
You never know unless you ask.
Always. That's
right.
right. That's fair enough. And no.
All right, so we didn't end up with any rest, right? We were
no, you were still
and
chatting. We hadn't really gotten into break time, or not break time, long rest time.
After these trolls smolder out, I take it there's nothing left on there's nothing to loot, is there?
No, they weren't wielding anything. They were, clawing and biting as trolls are wont to do.
Yeah.
It looked like they were trying to surround or come at you from one from the east, one from the west.
Yeah. They're pretty clever trolls.
What's the healing on a potion of healing? What's the dice on that?
Let me check.
4 plus 2.
Yeah.
Because D&D Beyond doesn't seem to have one for
Just
the planet. They seem to have the choices are
It's 2d4 plus 2.
yeah.
Yeah, there is it's potion of healing, not healing potion.
All right.
I know it's
Cool.
kind of hard to find when you try to load it in your character. It's weird. It's like in a weird place or something. Or it's called something weird. It's like potion of healing.
Yeah. 2d4 plus 2, right?
And it is 2d4 plus 2.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so what are you guys doing? It's it's late. You've been talking for a while. You had your supper. It was it hadn't really got quite to watch time yet. I know like watch order Baldwin was going to take first. I don't know if you guys want to establish watch order.
Yeah, I'll go first.
Blarg goes second.
Daryl will go third, but is there snow on the ground or not really?
Oh yeah. It's by the time this is all dinner and so forth, it's probably snowed 5-6 inches.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So not that much, but
Not a ton.
Okay.
No, it's not a blizzard or anything, but it's a good
Yeah.
snowfall.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
Baldwin, Blarg, Daryl.
Aaron take he'll jump the third watch also. He can get his meditations in before that.
So you're going to watch with
Take the
Daryl?
last one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. and then Hebney will take Dawn Watch. If everybody goes 2 hours, that's 8 hours. So, because Aerodeth is gonna hang out with Daryl. Okay. So, what do you guys do after the attack of the trolls?
Couple shots of something to warm us up, and then I'm hitting the sack.
Yep. Sounds good.
Yeah, same.
Yep.
You have any more healing spells you want to throw around before we?
But yeah, before we,
Before
did anyone else take damage? I forgot on that.
I took a good hit.
Okay. Good. So I got, let me pull these up one more time. Yep. I've got, I can do 3 more. I don't know if anyone else needs them, besides Aerodeth. So
Not me.
Aerodeth gets 6. Do you need any more?
I'm still down 7, but after a long rest, I'll gain some more back. So
Well, why don't I boost you up anyways? Because,
Okay.
because
I'll allow it.
long rest, I'm gonna get my spells back, right?
Sure.
Yes. Yeah, you do get all your spell slots. I don't.
Okay.
I'm not that nasty.
So here's another 6.
Okay, that'll get me after the rest. It'll get me full. So
Okay.
Okay.
thank you.
So Baldwin, you set up for first watch, and that's where we'll pause. I think that's a good spot to stop our session.
Yeah.
Fantastic. That was great.
Great.
Yeah, good job.
Thanks, Scott. That was fun.
Oh, you got it. So you're on your way to Kundrakar, and you run into a little snag with some trolls in the mountains. Who knew? Okay. So you've got the bones and smoldering carcasses of trolls laying about. You've got the battle scene. You know that they came upon you from 2 directions, and Baldwin is starting his watch for the evening while the rest of you go to sleep. Here we'll hit pause. Let's go around and do quick outros. Where can we find you guys when you're not doing this? We'll start with Baldwin O'Farrell.
Hey, yeah, I'm Tim, also known as Enoch on Discord and on Twitch. Yeah, those are the places you can find me, and you can find me here playing D&D with these guys every other Sunday.
Nice. All right, Blarg, what's up, man?
Hey, everybody. I'm Chris WikiVA on Discord and Twitch. If you want to see me play Dungeons and Dragons 5e, this is the only place you can find it. And why wouldn't you want to find it? I play here this is a great game, great group of guys. I really enjoy playing it. Thanks, Scott, for having us on your channel. It's been a blast so far, and I think Scott mentioned earlier what a distinct group of abilities this party has, and they really do. So it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Daryl, you're going to go next, and I'm going to award you inspiration for using your abilities so well tonight.
Thank you.
So if you don't have inspiration, take it.
I don't.
Make sure you mark your character sheet appropriately and tell us a little bit about yourself, man.
My name's Bob, or Doc Shoulder, and again, thank you everyone for being part of this, and this has been great. And I play here, and then also with Phantom on Friday Night Crusades, with doing Castles and Crusades every Friday night.
Yeah, is that a Discord game?
Yes, on Discord.
Nice.
So,
yeah.
but other than that, that's my online presence.
Nice. Awesome. All right. Very good. And make sure chat, stick around a couple more minutes. I got an announcement or two, and then we're going to go raid Lord Gazumba, who's doing Gabbing at the Peaks. They're talking about like Greyhawk content creation. They got some really good names on tonight. So we're going to raid into them. Aerodeth.
Hello again, friends. I'm Carl on the Discord. I am Carnage, both with a K. You can find me here playing on Sundays. You can see me playing on other nights or afternoons or anything. It's an imposter, and please tell me so I can track them down. No, this is a great group. This is a lot of fun tonight. Looking forward to the next one.
Awesome. Finally, last but not least, DM Dave, Hebney Craigbeam.
Hey, thanks again, guys. Just to echo the gratitude, Scott and fellas, super fun. I always look forward to this game. You can find me on Wednesdays and Thursday nights every week over at the Guild Superior Twitch channel. I run games and play games and produce games over there, including a Wednesday night Beyond Saltmarsh game set in Greyhawk. We are going up against the Whisperer and the Whisperer's cult in the on the island of Narisban in the Olman Isles. So there's some. It's gonna get hairy. And then I just wanted to make sure that I plug a fundraising effort that starts on May 14th with the Games Tavern, Phoenix Iwaki, and Guild Superior. We're going to be doing a fundraiser for No Kid Hungry.
Oh, nice.
So we'll be kicking it off on May 14th with a one-shot of Viking Death Squad. If you haven't checked out our Viking Death Squad one-shots, you definitely should. They're VOD on our channel, but they're absolutely ridiculous. Everybody's dressed up great. It's super fun. So come on over, help us raise money, and feed kids.
Nice. Love it, man. All right. And I'm Wiley Hobbit, your DM. We play on Sundays occasionally. We play on Mondays occasionally. Our schedule's a little not what I would say religious just because life stuff. We're all busy in that. So I don't know that we'll go next Sunday just because Mother's Day. I feel like I could be suffering greatly if I attempt to run a D&D game that day. But we'll be back, at least, if not in 2 weeks, in 3, depending on the life schedule. And that normally runs at 1:30. We also play every other Monday-ish at 7:30 p.m. It's a Forgotten Realms campaign, Mysteries in the Dalelands. That'll run a week from tomorrow. Game schedule I kind of posted in chat here. I do have an announcement of my own. Jasper's Game Week is upon us, May 9th through the 13th. I'm an ambassador for Jasper's Game Day, which is an organization that raises awareness and raises funds for help with suicide prevention, particularly in teens and veterans. They raise money to train hotline counselors, to train people who work with surviving families. It's near and dear to my heart for personal reasons. So all of the games will be on D&D Beyond's Twitch channel this year. I've also posted on the chat the website for Jasper's Game Day. So, Jasper's Game Week. Very, very excited. All the games on D&D Beyond. So super stoked that they will put all the games on D&D Beyond. Excellent, excellent. Oh, that's an old announcement. I'm going to have to update that. I put a new command in, but apparently I've done it wrong. Anyway, May 13th through 19th, that'll be running on Twitch D&D Beyond. So with that, we're going to raid into Lord Gazumba, like I mentioned, and they're doing their kind of weekly talk show. They're talking about Greyhawk game content creation. So should be lots of fun. I know Anna B. Meyer is on and some other awesome experts. So thanks for hanging out. Thank you to Blue Box RPG for the raid tonight. They run a really great Greyhawk game on Tuesday nights. He does a Legends and Lore show on Wednesday nights, and then he runs a Sunday afternoon game. So really, really cool that John and company raided us. Super grateful for that. And we will see you all next time we see you. Let me hit the magic raid button. Thanks to new subs, Agora Quest, and who was that? Tim Lowry. So thanks for joining us, hanging out, and being part of our little community. We'll see you all the next time that we play.
See you next time.
Bye.